time.
Let's go!
Really cool to do a collaboration like this.
I love the skateboard.
I love the event.
I love cars, and that's really what got me interested in the game.
Booyah!
Booyah! Booyah!
There you go! We have Desolator in there taking down Kalasak, who's next. We're now left to 2 teams remaining, and Zap right now going against BB Desolator. We have shots after shots. Damon right now, who's really on fire for the shots, and there you go!
These teams really going down, but just like that, you can see here the push coming in from Kiss Mumu, one-tapping a lot of the team members right now, having a lot of these kills, having 0 yet. Not quite getting 1, but does down. Finally gets that opening back for himself. AB Ligers gets eliminated like just what we said. Almighty versus Kiss Mumu, and it's going to be looking like Kiss Mumu is going to be a lot of this, but Void Face with the triple kill. One tap.
Run as Namo goes in for those shots.
Woo, Kit Kat just split into 2, sadly.
And there will be rushing in as well. And despite of the zone being closing in a bit, 20 seconds, they are in here to finish it off and clear this out. BXT Radicals will be eliminated on this match.
Free Fire.
Flush, you get in my way and you get crushed. I picked up the pace and they ate. Dust, bang, bang, the sky and the fire, the lights. Let's go.
It's really cool to do a collaboration like this.
I love the skateboard.
I love the event. I love cars, and that's really what got me interested in the game.
Booyah!
Booyah! Booyah!
Going for the rush. Andy just waited in there to go in for the push. And there you go. Andy is just raining fire.
There you go. We have Desolator in there taking down Kalasak. Who's next? We're now left to 2 teams remaining. And Zap right now going against BB Desolator. We have shots after shots. Damon right now, who's really on fire for the shots. And there you go.
These teams really going down, but just like that, you can see here the push coming in from Kiss Mumu, one-tapping a lot of the team members right now, having a lot of these kills, having 0 yet. Not quite getting 1, but does down. Finds that opening back for himself. AB Ligers gets eliminated like just what we said. Almighty versus Kiss Mumu, and it's going to be looking like Kiss Mumu is going to be a lot of this, but Boy's Face with the triple kill. One tap.
Got run as Namo goes in for those shots.
Woo! Kit Kat just split into 2, sadly.
And there will be rushing in as well. And despite of the zone being closing in a bit, 20 seconds, they are in here to finish it off and clear this out. PXT Radicals will be eliminated on this match.
Free Fire.
Flush, you get in my way and you get crushed. I picked up the pace and they ate. That's bang bang in the sky and the fire is alive. Let's go.
It's really cool to do a collaboration like this.
I love the skateboard.
I love the event. I love cars, and that's really what got me interested in the game.
Booyah!
Booyah! Booyah!
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome here in the Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals. We are your times for today. My name is Phil, your host, and together with me is the lovely Beef Mommy and the handsome Neptune. And of course, I'm really can't wait for this because this is it. The Grand Finals after our qualifiers, after the invited teams played with the other teams as well. It will now come to this. This is the end already. Who will be the champion? And we're going to know that later on. But of course, I would like to say hello to my lovely casters and handsome caster right here. How are you guys? Let's start with Beef Mommy.
Oh, it's an amazing day, and we are finally here. It is do or die for all of these 12 teams. We do have from Group A, B, and C, and we're down to our last stages today. And we already know that from the open qualifiers, we've seen some gems, but of course, we do have our invited teams, and we did see everything just play off in our league stages. So it really boils down to this. I'm really excited to see because it is a clean state for all of these teams right now.
How are you, Neptune, bro? You're looking sharp today, bro.
Yeah, it should be, because this is the finals. This is where everything will end. Well, we're going to see who we're going to win on these fights.
And now the qualified teams who will fight today for that glorious top one, the championship. We have Saf Death Wish, AV Laggers, Bloody Head, Almighty, PXG Radicals, VPH Velocity, Tyrants, Govilam Wheels, Shot Legends, VB Desolators, Kalasag Who's Next, and WLV Imbalance. And to be honest, I really can't wait on what's going to happen today because they're going to be playing up against all of these amazing teams all around the Philippines in the comfort of their home, just sitting or just maybe they're lying down right now while playing. And to be honest, it is like this is really big because they're gonna play in this 1 million prize, ladies and gentlemen. If you're placed in the 12th place, you're gonna get 10,000, 11, 15,000, 10th place, 20,000, 9th place, 20,000 as well. 8th place and 7th place, you're gonna get 30,000, and the 56th place, you're gonna get 50,000 pesos. 4th place, you're gonna get 75,000 pesos. 3rd place, you're gonna get 100,000. 2nd place, you're gonna get 200,000 plus pesos, and for the first place, the champion, the best of the best, will get 400,000 pesos in the lion's share of 1 million pesos. Man, I really love that. Like, come to think of it, I mean, they're gonna be sharing like 100,000 each if you're gonna get the first place, and all you have to do is of course play with your friends, play for fun. It's really up to you guys. But apparently, this is the point system, and if you're placed 12 and 11, you're not gonna get any points at all. The 10th place, you're gonna get 1, 9th place 2, 8th place 3, 7th place 4 points. Rank 6, you're gonna get 5 points. 5th place 6 points. 4th 7, 3rd 8, and 9 for the 2nd place. And if you're gonna get that booyah, you will get 12 points, and of course 1 point per kill. All right, and it's really up to you if you want to get those kill points or maybe just gonna get those booyahs. But apparently, if you're gonna get that booyah, you need to back it up with a lot of kill points as well for you to rack up all these points just to get that top one place. And ladies and gentlemen, after that, we're gonna talk about the schedule for today. What will happen today, man? Of course, this is a grand finals already, so we're gonna start match 1 here in Bermuda, match 2 in Purgatory, and after that Kalahari. And for the second half, match 4 Bermuda again, match 5 Purgatory, and the last map, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get to Kalahari. And I am really stoked. I am so excited what's gonna happen today for sure, because I'm actually enjoying and I'm actually really hoping that we're gonna see a big upset today. I have no idea, dude. I really want to see a big upset. Maybe the Dark Horse getting that top 1, but we're gonna see that in a few. If of course, if we check all of these matches. After all, well, anyway, we don't want to talk about the teams for today. Okay. AV Ligers, ladies and gentlemen, leading the booyah count for the league stage, getting 7 booyahs on their whole league stages. What do you think is their chance against the other teams here? Let's start with Neptune.
Yeah, I mean,
But before
AV
that,
Ligers is.
Hey, go.
Yeah, sure, no problem.
All right, but before that, Neptune. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, if we're gonna get 3,000 viewers at the end of the stream, of course, we'll give away Wasteland Frontier Parachute, guys. It is for you. I mean, to all the people who's watching right now, you're going to have a chance to win amazing prizes as well, like this Wasteland Frontier Parachute. So please wait until the end of the stream for you to have a chance to win this amazing product, an amazing giveaway rather. But apparently we need to get that milestone, which is 3,000 viewers for you to have a chance to win this. To be honest, I really like this. Like what you've said, Beef Mommy, in the last day of our group stage, you want to die in style. That is true. I want to die in style as well. I want to die while in the air, while having this parachute. I mean, I will die peacefully and smiling. And I can't wait to play that game again, for that to be shown to the other players here in this game. But apparently, going back to my question, once again, Neptune, AV Ligers leading the booyah count for the league stage, getting 7 booyahs. What do you think is their chance against the other teams here? Neptune.
Yeah, there's a lot of chance for AV Ligers. Apart from the booyah count, they're also leading up, well, second on the kills. So they will have a greater chance on this fight. So we'll have to find out if AV Ligers had what it take to go in for the win on this fight.
Well, apparently, I think this is really fast, ladies and gentlemen, because we're going to head on to our first game already here in the OG map, Bermuda, where it all began. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, this is game 1 of the Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals. Casters, Beef Mommy, and Neptune, let's get it on.
Let's get it on indeed, and we're finally here in match number 1 in Bermuda. Like what Vil said, it is the OG map that everyone is just accustomed to. You're going to be seeing a lot of open houses here and a lot of warehouses that can actually just have a lot of engagements earlier on. But you can see here the flight path going to Mars Electric, going all the way into Shipyard. It's a straight line, man, but you can see here a team that's going all the way into Sentosa might be a little bit difficult because of the circle might not go in their favor here, Neptune.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, Sentosa is a far part of this map, and judging from where the rest of the teams are, they might be in trouble the moment that that circle closes in. But hopefully they'll have much time to be able to get those loots and probably get a vehicle and then jump in there. But if you look at the middle right now, there's a few teams in there already jumping in, and this might be a battle that we will be looking in at it early, Beef.
Yeah, early engagements are what we had. And you can look over here on the northern east side, the riverside. There's going to be 3 teams right beside each other trying to see if you actually get a frag. But we are going to be looking at SAF, and we already know this is the top dog of the competition so far that only like 5 booyahs to their name, but really just having a lot of these kills. You already know SAF is going to be that team that's going to be high fragging, but also placing high enough to actually get those points. So AV Ligers, this is basically their number 1 threat right now, especially in this competition.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we were talking about earlier, even before the match, on how Saf was able to get that 20 kills from the Kalahari map. But here we go. We have Desolator already going in for those hits against WLV Imbalance. And we have Wankai right now just moving over. But there you go. We have Vanity in there being too aggressive against BB Desolator. Another one will be taken down. Hive will be going down. And this is a new WLV Imbalance that we're looking at because they are going in for the aggressive push at this point, Beef.
Ooh, Vanity with opening pick, but Roz as well. Oh, honestly, WLV Imbalance already. Early kills right now. There's only 1 person left for VB Desolators, and such an early exit already. The only thing that he can do is actually just hide, but then it looks like he's going to be going in for the engagements right now.
Yeah, we'll have to see that engagement. Will VB Desolator be able to survive this as WLV Imbalance is still a full squad, so it's a 1v4 battle. Now we'd like to see if VB Desolator will be able to go in for the clutch or will be dying early at this game. They might be the first one. This is a different team of VB Desolator that we're seeing because normally on an early engagement, they go in and take out the enemy. But another change that we've seen from the side of WLV Imbalance is they are getting aggressive. From day 1 of the league stages up until day 6, they are showing that they're improving a lot, and this is what they have to pay for it.
Now, this is what we said a while ago. Today is a clean state, and you're not going to be having the same points that you had during the league stages. So it's very impressive to see WLV Imbalance already opening with 3 kills. There's only going to be 1 person left in Desolators, and we already know that WLV Imbalance is our bottom seed for today. They are going to be our 12th place, and yet they are confident enough to go in for those open frags, and this is what they really need. And they have the upper hand. It's a good thing they were able to actually go in for the kill, but 1 member left. Saber is going to be the only one for VB Desolator. This is going to be very hard because you're going to be going up against all of these teams. You can see already everyone is still alive except for those 3 Desolator members.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this will be difficult for Saber, but looking at the other games that we've seen, there is a chance for them. Probably go for placement points or just a few picks on the kills in there. We're still looking at VB Desolator in there that has still what it takes to go in for at least a few points, so it has not to be let down that easily. But WLV Imbalance right now might be going against a Gobulam Wills at this point. They're getting too near in the middle of the area, and this is a different tactic from the side of WLV Imbalance. Usually they go in on the outskirts, just waiting for the rest of the teams to jump in and then go in for those kills. But right now, this is a new team of WLV Imbalance that we're looking at right now.
They've definitely learned from the past mistakes that they had, pushing a little bit too far. And also, you can see over here, they're really engaging in those gunfights. And the fact that they're going in closer into the circle earlier on really gives you an advantage because you are going to have really nice positioning into that last final circles. And so we are taking a look right now. Azia having 0 kills yet, but it doesn't matter. Vanity and Ross already have a kill. So it's going to be important how they actually go in there. Wills is going to be right in front of them. They've heard the car already, but they're not going to be going in for the engagement. They know they might lose that one. So that was a really, really good passive play there by WLV Imbalance. Not really picking up fight, knowing very well that they might lose that.
Yes, indeed. I mean, they need to pick fights in there. Knowing that Wills was not pushing them at all, they will not go in for the first shots in there. Now we're looking at VPH Velocity in here, another top contenders on this match so far. VPH Velocity was able to go in on those booyahs as well from the previous league stages, but right now this is where they have to show for this game. We have Insane right now going the vehicle gameplay, and this early on this match, this is a new most of the tactics that were in, they were able to go in for that plenty of kills. So we'll have to find out, will that work at this point, as Wales right now is just rushing in, seeing another vehicle. This might be a trigger that they want to go in for the push, and no sight just yet from the side of Wales, seeing WLV imbalance at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the fight that we were trying to see, but I'm not quite sure if Wheels actually knows that AV is going to be there. And again, this is going to be very difficult because Wheels, we already know they can win those engagements, but they've been losing a lot of their gunfights. Wheels has Embalor, yes, but then they need to go in there for the kill. They did get one win here in Bermuda, but you are going up against AV Ligers, the top two here in this competition. So Wheels needs to actually step back, and their positioning right now is not going to be that good, just because you see here AV Ligers actually has the high ground, and you can see here the sandwich is going to be ensuing. WLV Imbalance is going to be right behind over there, but I think Alforte knows that there's going to be a whole squad right behind him.
They'll have to find out how will they go against this. We have one above, one below. Will they be taking down WLV Imbalance in here? They've already have sights in there, as we see Alforte trying to go in for those peaks, but no one has been seen just yet. And we have AV Ligers, as mentioned earlier, already on top of them. So we'll have to find out, who are they going against first, or will they be getting away from this area, because you don't want to be pinched at this point of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Right now, they are going in for the engagement. WLV getting some shots right now from the side of Alforte, really just applying that pressure to them. But here we go, one person goes down from the side of Almighty, gets taking shots right now. Jay-Z really in trouble right now because he's going to be the only one outside, really going in there for the push. But here we go, finally gets the kill. Really utilizing that upper hand advantage of him actually going in there. And Kalasag, who's next, is going to be in trouble right now. They are at a very bad position. Only trees and glue walls are going to be their protection.
Yeah, I mean, them playing, the Kalasag who's next playing in Bermuda, not really good on the kills, and there you go. We have the first team to be eliminated right now, and Almighty in there, proving that they are really almighty at this point. So I was talking earlier that Kalasag who's next not really doing good on Bermuda, because their average kills at this point is more of 1.4, so not that much to show off compared to Almighty, where have a 5.5 average kill points. That will be a very difficult enemy to go against.
Absolutely, and you already know that Almighty has 3 wins already in Bermuda. That's probably one of the most out of everyone in this competition. So Almighty really knows how to frag out earlier on the game, but you already know they go in a little bit too aggressive in the early games, and having that, you know, probably one person down, they need to win every single engagement that they have, especially earlier on. And then hopefully at the very last stages of this matchup, they still have a full squad. But you can already see everyone's going to be closing into this circle right now. WLV Imbalance looking really strong right now, being the second team just under Almighty. So they need to be in there, be a little bit more aggressive like they usually are. And we've already seen they can actually perform. But they're going to be seeing a lot of members right now from VPH Velocity. But we already know that this team is the 6th place, having 4 booyahs to their name.
Yes, indeed. And I think the way BPH Velocity is moving right now, they're doing the vehicle gameplay. They're scouting in there. They are looking for their prey, and good enough, they're inside of the next circle that we're going to see. So it might be trouble from the rest of the teams, like WTS Tyrants in there, who's a little bit too far, and they might be gate kept in there. But as we look in the middle of the screen, we have BPH Velocity in there still riding along. No one has been sighted just yet. And we have Almighty right now just slowly moving in, not really too aggressive at this point, but hopefully they'll be able to see the enemies in there and prepare for this engagement.
Oh, not really preparing for this engagement right now. WLV Imbalance, 2 members down. It's all up to Wiz and Vanity to actually go in there and finally go in for the kill, but Velocity is going to be a little bit of a hard opponent. And right now we're going to be seeing a lot of gunfights ensuing as Zia is going to be in trouble. Finally gets taken out. Wiz gets the takedown. Vanity is going to be the only hope left for WLV Imbalance. It's not going to be looking good for them. Velocity doing a lot of pressure right now. It's going to be very hard, and it looks like Imbalance is going to be going down early.
Yeah, we'll have to find out. Will Vanity be able to go in there? But no, it is Insane and Faten in there going in for a double hit, and they will be able to eliminate WLV Imbalance, the 11th team in here on the ranking right now. And VPH Velocity did a great job in there, surviving with all 4 members and getting all 4 kills at this point, Beef.
Yeah, they were just pinched there. Imbalance just didn't have really a good advantage to that. And VPH with aggression, they do so well. And it's just sad that WLB Imbalance just had a taste of their own medicine, really just taken out that whole team a while ago of VB Desolators. But we do have just one more person right now for that team. So we'll see how that's going to be going. Maybe placement points are going to be the answer to their problems. But we are going to be taking a look at AMT yet again, the Almighty Squad. And this is their playground. They really are known to actually win a lot of their Bermuda fights. And not only that, just to win early engagements. Really, their kryptonite was actually the final circles. That's the reason why they actually lose a lot of those zones. But having a really comfortable fight here in Bermuda, they might actually get the booyah, but it's not going to be easy because you can see here, Ligers are already comfortable in the positioning.
Yeah, I mean, position is the key on this game, especially in Battle Royale, and we'll have to find out, are they getting the good position, the best position at this point? But looking at Almighty right now, they have a no chance here because they have their backs onto the circle, and then the rest of the teams are just down below. They have the high ground at this point, and we have Almighty. One member of Almighty is in there just hanging back on the edge of that circle. I think that is a one way for them to scout out to where they should go next, just in case they move in or the circle moves in a different direction. Now the UAV has been triggered in there somewhere from the middle of the map, and they might be scanning and seeing the rest of the teams in there. If they don't take that out, they will be given the information and they will be hunted at this point. But if you look in the upper left of the map, we have a few members of PXG Radicals who's just rushing in. They need to move into the zone because this might be too difficult for them to fight against, that they might be gate-kept in there by the side of VPH Velocity, as well as that one member from VB Desolators on this map.
Yeah, you can see they're really going on a trip right now. PXG Radicals on a vacation going in there, but does take a little bit of damage. And at this point, the circle is going to be hurting quite a bit, so you need to rush in there. The only team that's only going to be inside that circle is going to be Bloody Heads. That was a really nice push. And right now, AV Ligers taking some shots. Almighty versus AV Ligers. Oh, this is not a fight that you'd want to be if you are going to be on the side of AV Ligers, but they do have the upper hand of actually having cover and also having that upper hand of having that high ground. And right now, Ren doing a lot of pressure. It's usually going to be Batman and Ren really having those frags, but Jay-Z is going to be taking some shots. Gonna be able to actually go down, but actually goes for the pickup, and AMT again with the aggression, but they are paying the price.
Yeah, that was a good move in there, trying to distract as one goes in for the pickup, but it has been the price has been paid. They were able to go in for that takedown once again. But going in on the other side, we have Bloody Heads right now. Mark is already down on the ground, and Morgana for the pickup. Now the rest of the teams need to fuck up in here, as PXG Radicals will not be backing off at this point. Knowing the tactics of PXG Radicals, how aggressive they are, they will be going in there despite of the situation. Their radical tactics, their unorthodox gameplay might be proven effective at this point, but they will be backstabbing there for the side of Forbids as they were focused on Bloody Heads. So Sap will be joining the party in here, and we'll have to find out who will survive at this point, Beef.
Oh, that's going to be very good right now. Saf really going in for the aggression. McRory, always being a top fragger for his team, is really hungry for a kill. And Bloody Heads seems to be like they're going to be a little bit in trouble right now. Desolator's finally eliminated. Saber is just going to be a little bit unlucky, but you can see here Malte is going to be there as well. Oh no, but then goes in there for the bomb. Doesn't quite get it. The stun does come in. They are actually good enough to be able to stop the push right now from Saf, and McRory needs to actually go in for the push. Oh no, the grenade's not going to be that good. You can see here all the members of Saf are going to be infiltrating right now in the second floor, but McRory does pay the price.
The table has turned. We have CG in there with a grenade launch for McRory, but McRory was picked up. But we have in there one member, Let's Go, was stuck in there between blue walls. Then here we go, the rampage by Saf Death Wish. We're in there giving in the Death Wish onto Bloody Heads. I believe there's only one more member from the side of Bloody Heads at this point, and we have Saf in here proving that they are a force to be reckoned with. The highest kill points that we've seen from the league stages are in here, but glad we have Red Panda right now going in on a close engagement battle, and J-Boy right now for the hit against Remiel, but the blue wall has been released in there just in time to avoid the shots from J-Boy. Now will J-Boy be going in for the push as Red Panda in there going in for the backup, and Red Panda right now going in for the rush. Remiel just going around in there trying to avoid, but PXG Radicals will be taken out. It is J-Boy from afar who gets that kill, B.
Oh, it's going to be Saf versus Bloody Hands versus Velocity versus Wheels. There's 4 teams really coming in together right now. And it's going to be very difficult right now. Saf actually has a really good placement here, but at the same time, Velocity has as well. So, Almighty gets eliminated already. AB Ligers does the job. Red Panda finally hits the nail in the coffin, and Almighty's going to be out. 8th place in this particular matchup. Bermuda, this was supposed to be their playground, but it just seems like everyone else knows that. So really applying that pressure into, they already know that AB Ligers is the team to do that. Trot Legends really just coasting by with that 1 kill, but also having 1 member down. Oh, W2S going to be Tyrants versus that, but then we're going to be looking Wheels eliminated already. So many things already happening here, Neptune.
And VPH Velocity has been taken out as well, so those engagement in here, I think we started off on this circle in here with 7 or 8 teams, but they are slowly being taken down. We're now down to 5 teams, and we have AB Ligers in here already just preparing for the next push. They're just going in on to the next circle. Just in the sides though, they don't want to go in surprise in there in the middle, but we have Zap who's already taking the middle of the map. Trot Legends in there being shot at from the sides, and Mayapang right now is going in for the shots as well for another team. We have a Forbids in there going in for the takedown, and we have in there Sap with a good position right now as Morgana is just waiting and patiently hiding in there. Oh, Morgana is going in for the shots against Sap, and that might trigger another comeback from the side of Sap, and Bloody Heads not looking good. They might be eliminated at this point, but no, it is Tyrant who will be taken down early at this point, and Trot Legends was able to take them down.
Ooh, Trot Legends already having 1 win in this particular map, and it seems like they're actually pretty strong, but then McRory is in a killing spree right now. He cannot be stopped. He has 6 kills already, but you can see here AB Ligers already have 2 members down. It's all up to Seiya and Red Panda to actually clutch this up, only having 6 kills, but you can see here 12 kills already for Sap. That's absolutely crazy, but also 1 man down, so it's really anyone else's game because we've seen this before. 2v4 situation doesn't really matter, and right now it's going to be Bloody Heads Morgana going to be the only one left for the team, but it's going to be going down. It's going to be anyone's ball game actually right now.
I mean, there's a chance that Morgana will be able to balance it up from the side of Sap, taking 1 down, and then we'll be left with a 2v2 on AB Ligers, but no, that doesn't happen as Red Panda has been taken out. We have Seiya trying to survive, but AB Ligers will be going in. Bloody Heads Morgana will be in there going against Sap members, and we have Bloody Head eliminated, and Sap Death Wish for the first booyah of the grand finals.
Oh man, the top seed really just proves to everyone how very well they deserve this particular top spot. Let's go McRory, Forbids, and Daymoon. Such amazing players, Toxics as well as the sub. Just give some credit to Morgana, having 1 more frag and also doing that 2nd place even though she was the only one that's actually there. Wow, that was absolutely just amazing. Like having Morgana really just play in there, having that last second, even though he was the only one left, having that kill was essential to have just 1 more point. They basically got 2 points extra because of Morgana.
Man, Saf, that team has the most kills all the time, even back in the league stages. Apparently, I've seen the game. Of course, they're just playing passive and still getting those kills. Maybe they're just waiting patiently for them to pull those triggers, and they're just trying not to be eliminated as well. I mean, they're not being aggressive, man. They just waited and still getting those kills, and they actually won it, dude. I mean, what can you say about that, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, Saf in there has a different approach. They go in passive and aggressive if needed. So that is what they did. They stuck in there in that building just waiting, and that is why Morgana was stuck in there as well with them as AB Ligers tries to push them in. So that is what happened at this point, and why Saf is really very difficult to go against because you don't know what tactic they are going to use at this point.
Yeah. WLV Imbalance starting this game with a bang, shutting down PB Desolators at the early stages of the game. Back in the league stages, they're placed 12, which is actually really new for WLV because their norm to be aggressive at that point, but still eliminated by VPH. Well, at least they got 3 kills, yeah. What can you say about this beat?
Well, you already know WLV imbalance. He really does struggle with aggression for some time, and that's why it was so surprising for them to actually go in there with the first bloods. But they do get, sadly, they get taken out pretty early. VPH is just going to be a little bit more aggressive, but Sav, you can see here, just frag after frag, Rory just doing a lot of damage. I know he probably had 7 or 8 last matchup, so it's going to be very difficult to actually match that, knowing this team is already in that top frag and also having that first booyah.
For Almighty, I really want to commend Batman getting all these multiples. It's like I'm calling him, he's like the anchor of Almighty. They tried to catch AV Laggers off guard, and we all know that this is Almighty's map. They've been winning this map for like a couple of already back then. But apparently like, they can't do something for them to win again, just like before Neptune.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, there's a lot of factors that might affect them. It's probably the new set of enemies that they are going against, and also this grand final. So there's a chance wherein there's a nervousness at that point, and they're not really confident. Usually, the first match is a warm up. So hopefully, they're just warming up and then move up as we move further into the matches.
Yes, indeed. But actually, ladies and gentlemen, we've seen the winner of map number 1, which is actually Saf Deathwish again. But you're gonna have a chance to win amazing prize as well if you reach 3,000 viewers at the end of the stream. Of course, we're gonna give away, and you will receive the Wasteland Frontier parachute. I want that. We all want that, of course, and you, of course, we know that you want that too. So, of course, please keep on sharing, like, and of course comment down below the team that you are rooting for. Give them, show them your support for you to have a chance to win an amazing prize like this. And apparently here in the map, which is actually Purgatory, I really can't wait what's gonna happen here. To be honest, the map is actually the change is inevitable, man. We really can't distinguish on who's gonna win this. Saf Deshmas can win this, but the others can as well. So it's really up to them on how will they pursue their dream to focus on their goal to get membership again. But I will ask you guys, let's start with Neptune here. Which team do you think is gonna be the dark horse today?
Yeah, I mean, Bloody Heads has shown great tactics on this game with the bridges and the water in there. So I think it's Bloody Heads on my bet.
Yeah, I'll ask you later on, Beef, because we're heading on to the game number 2 here in Purgatory. And of course, I'm really excited, and the casters as well, the viewers as well. So once again, please like, stop sharing the stream. Please don't stop it, man. And of course, comment down below the team that you are rooting for, and don't forget to like the stream as well, just to get some updates on what's going to happen today and the other days. Once again, Purgatory is the second map here in the grand finals of the Free Fire Philippines Open. So on to our casters. Beef and Neptune, let's go.
Here we go, Purgatory. It is going to be our second matchup. And if you guys didn't really hear what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, giveaways, guys. This is what you've been waiting for. All those days, all those weeks that you've been waiting for the giveaway. It's going to be today. But we do need your help because 3,000 is going to be the number. And right now, we are at 800 or 900. Don't worry, we're almost halfway there. I'm pretty sure you guys can do it as well. But then here we go, Purgatory. All the way from Mouse House going into that Mountville. It's going to be very difficult for these teams if they are going to be at the very outside of the map. You don't want to be like the team that we saw a while ago. Bloody Heads actually had to go and push a little bit far, but that's the trade-off. You are going to be safe, but at the same time, you always need to play catch-up.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, if you go in too far, you will need to catch up, definitely. And with the waters in there in the middle of the map of Purgatory, that might be difficult for some that to just cross over. But we have zip lines in there and vehicles that you can use. But sure, hopefully the teams will make sure that they are going in for the tactical approach, because if they don't, they might be cut off in there as they go into the zone. As we see Zaf Death Wish in here. Let's go. Already going in for the scout and probably just staying away from the rest of the teams because he wants this or their team to have as much loot as possible. And Let's Go is just giving that to them. And here we go. Speaking of giving it to them, Embalor in here already taking shots from this fight. And AV Ligers is going against them. This might be a very difficult side or difficult move from the side of Gobilam Whales as they go in against AV Ligers, and I know how they fight, people.
Yeah, we know how they fight. They can definitely be aggressive, but definitely if you're going up against AV Ligers, that is not going to be a very easy feat. And for the side of Gotham moves, it's going to be very hard because Purgatory, they're not that good. And yes, they do have an average kills of 4, but they haven't had a Booyah in this particular map. And for AV Ligers, they've had 2 already. So definitely not a matchup that you would want to have. But then let's take a look at the screen right now on the right side. Staff Death Wish from that 26 points in our match number 1. AV Ligers in that second place having 15. VPH Velocity with 12, Trot Legends, and also Bloody Head having 9, Almighty having 8, Tyrants having that 6, Govilla Moose having 5th of the 5th spot here, and then WLB Imbalance having 3, PXG Radicals having 2, VB Desolators having 1, and Kalasag who's next, not even having 1, having that 0. So actually, Neptune, for the side of Kalasag who's next, what do they need to do to actually pick up in this competition?
I mean, they need to just choose their fights. If they go down, one member of their team go down. Speaking of going down, we have a first blood in here already from the BB Desolators. And if one member go down, you need to have an exit strategy. Once again,
Here we
as
go,
exit
strategy
in there. Because you don't know if they will be rushing you just like the XG Radicals is doing right now. One man down already from the side of BD Desolators, and Insanity is going in for the push, but there goes Saver trying to get back, and Barbo was going in for the kill against Ninja as well. So 2 men down already from the side of BB Desolators, and here we go. Another man has been taken down by Tanamo. I think there's only one more member from the side of BB Desolators, and this might be another story for BB Desolators leaving one behind.
Come on now, VB Desolators. I know they kind of struggled here. They are at that 10th spot, but then, like what you said a while ago, it is going to be a strategy. And if you guys don't know what that means, it's basically a word that we made up here in this particular competition because Neptune just loves to squish in words. It's called strategic tragedy. It means that your strategy is just so bad that it ends up in tragedy. So VB Desolators seems to have that strategy right now with Wankai is going to be the only person left in his team. There's going to be still 12 teams into the mix, but it's not looking good for VB Desolators right now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll be able to let go of the curse that they're having right now because this is the second match already, and the same story goes, well, different player though. We have Wankai in there surviving compared to Saver, but hopefully Wankai has the same strategy. I need to stop saying that word. But hopefully, Wankai have a different approach on this match compared to the same approach on this match compared to Saber, wherein they were able to rank up on the placement in there despite of having only one member. Now, talking about a rank up on the placement, we have Kalasag who's next right now, and this is only Hawkeye on our sites right here, and the rest of the teams will be pushing in. So we're not quite sure who is he looking at right now, but hopefully they don't go into that early engagement because their placement is not looking good, and if they don't win it, that will be the same after this match.
This is a very interesting perception here from Hawkeye, really just giving an eye to his teammates, really just seeing who's going to be coming up behind them, but it just seems like the VPH Velocity is going to be going a little bit here into the eastern portion of the map, which is going to be good for the side of Kalasag who's next, just because there's only one person here. And I'm actually pretty curious to see where everyone else is going to be, and knowing how very well he's going to be the only one here, he should be passive. I'm pretty sure he's just going to be the lookout for his team. But here we go. The circle is going to be closing in, but here we go. AV Liger shares taking a lot of the shots, but then Trap Legends is a little bit too open. But we already know that this particular tower here is not going to be very, very nice, especially if you're going to be gate kept by 2 teams.
Yeah, I mean, well, we don't know who's around AV Ligers just yet, but Trot Legends right now out in the open. I think they're going in for the same tactics of just trotting in the edge of these hills, but they are in the middle of the gunfight and they're going against AV Ligers, and Chairs will not let them go. I think the moment that all those walls from the side of Trot Legends will be taken down, we have Seiya in there who's going in for either the grenade or the push against Trot. So we'll just have to find out they have in here from the side of AB Ligers, and here we go, shots after shots from Chairs in there, just distracting them at this point, and Trot Legend seems to be backing off on this game, or some of their members in there, but Mayabang will be taken down by Chairs, and there you go. I think that was the trigger, and Seiya might be going in for the push from the side. We'll have to find out, babe.
Trot Legends is just so helpless right now. They just can't compare it to the side of AV Ligers. And we already know that Trot Legends already is a better team if they play aggressively. I mean, no, passively, I mean. But then for the side of AV Ligers, they just play aggressively all the time. But then they do engage at very smart moments. They don't just, attack just like Almighty. Because we already know the circle is going to be closing in, so they need to go and move in. Trot Legends tries to probably go in, knowing very well that they're going to be attacked right now by AV Ligers. So AV Ligers shouldn't be a little bit too aggressive, or else they might pay the price. But then Trot Legends trotting behind here in the hill, and Red Panda going in there for the kill. Does get one. Maisan is going to be going down, but finally gets rid of him. Red Panda doing a lot of damage right now.
I mean, this is a good tactic of Trot Legends to back away, but AV Ligers will not be backing away despite of the circle closing in. They want to go in for the elimination. 3 kills already from the side of AV Ligers, and 1 more to go, and they'll be able to get that 4 kills that they need on their name. And we'll have to see if this one member of Trot Legends was able to go as far as possible from the side of AV Ligers. Otherwise, we might be seeing another early elimination at this point. We have Embalor right now being shot at by PXG, Tanamo, and the rest of the teams will be going in here, seeing that they have vehicles on them. So Tanamo is the scout, and Gobilam Wills is the target.
Yeah, Wills is going to be the target, and it's going to be very, very ironic just because Wills is usually the one that's going to be the predator, but then they're going to be the prey. PXG, they know they can actually make this push right now. They can do the aggression. Oh, what a cheeky spot right now in between the logs, and Tanamo is going to be able to take a lot of these shots. He tries to go in for the reload and for the grenade play, but doesn't. Tanamo needs to go in for the gun, needs to go in there really, really aggressively, but finally gets 1, gets 2. Tries to go if he can actually get the 3rd. Not quite getting a lot of this. Tanamo needs to finally make a move, and there you go. That's what they needed. Tanamo finally gets rid of Embalor, and Wills is going to be going down. Triple kill for him, but then it's going to be Caleb. It's going to be the only one left for his team, and he needs to go and push in here.
Oh my god, what a move in there by Cleb, going in against, and it is Wills who will be taken down. And I thought that will be a clutch from the side of Goblin Wills. 2 down already after that engagement. There's only 2 remaining, but Tanamo was able to get back up, being picked up by their team members, and just threw that grenade, killing that last member from Wills. And PXG Radicals in there, as radical as they can be. They will leave in here with 3 members and probably upset the balance of this game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I actually thought that Tanamo, having that grenade in the hand, I actually thought that wasn't going to be a good idea just because you are going to be a little bit open. But luckily for Tanamo, Wills actually put up a wall instead of engaging there with the gun. So that just basically was the perfect mix to finally get 2 persons down and just really putting the end to Wills. And you can see over here, AV Ligers surprisingly going to be at the very outside of the circle. And you can see here, a lot of teams actually are already going in. Bloody Heads tries to see if they actually get 1 person from Desolators. One guy's going to be in trouble because he's going to be the only person in his team. He needs to go and back away. He needs to go to Campsite or Forge and really just take cover because there is no way that he'll actually win this gunfight. But just around the corner, there's going to be WLV Imbalance trying to rush into that circle as well. So very surprising push here by AV Ligers, really just playing around the circle.
Yes, indeed. I mean, this is most of the tactics that we see on this match as well, on RG as well, but on tournaments that's still applicable, because what you need to do is have your back against a wall to make sure that you will not be pinched. But speaking of fight and pinch, we have WLV Imbalance right now, who will be taken down in there. A few members will be taken down by Almighty, and the Zia right now, I think, is running away from that battle, trying to survive, and Vanity as well also on the vehicle. Now it's Ross right now who's not riding right here, and I think is still in the battle in there, and the rest of the teams needs to go in for the rescue. They just disregarded that one member in there from BB Desolators, and I think they're going in for the flank. Now WLV Imbalance needs to get a better position at this point and probably get back in track because one of their members has been taken down and they need to take that revenge.
Absolutely. They need to take the revenge, but it's going to be very hard just because Bloody Head's actually going to be right behind them. And I'm pretty sure Bloody Heads already knows that they're there just because they've heard the vehicle already, possibly. The McLaren, very beautiful car. So it's actually really nice to see that in this particular game. So not only do you ride in style, but you can actually get to wherever you need to be, especially going in there inside the circle. But the trade-off is going to be that a lot of the people around you are going to hear that you're going to be there. So right now it's going to be Bloody Heads. And just around the corner, it's going to be VPH Velocity on the eastern side of the map around Ski Lodge.
I mean, this has been a known tactic for BPH Velocity. It's either they stay in one spot and wait for unsuspecting visitors, or they go in and flank slowly and then try to backstab. And I think that's what BPH Velocity is doing right now. But they are on the sides of Kalasag, who's next, who are probably undetected by BPH Velocity right now. Well, I spoke too soon. We have Might in there just blowing the cover, and they are going for the push. Insane in there. Will be thrown the grenade by Red, and here comes the push for the rest of the teams. We have Might in here for the high ground, going for the lookout, and we have the rest of the teams going in for the rush. Now, Hawkeye right here is just taking peeks, making sure that they have a good position, but there you go, shots into VBH Velocity as Phaeton will be left behind onto the side of Might right now. 1v1 and 3v3 happening all along on this game.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of gunfight ensuing right now. WLV Inbound seems to be like they need to go in for the aggression as well. They are going to be taking some shots, and you can see it's going to be PXG Radicals. That's not going to be looking good for you just because you already know the PXG Radicals is going to be really great on the aggressive side, and also they are a full squad, so it's basically going to be a 3v4 situation, and it's not going to be in the favor of WLV Imbalance just because you have one person down. It's usually that Morgana from Blood basically is going to be that one player that's really, really essential. But for the side of WLV, they don't have that. They don't have a player that can actually clutch up. At least we haven't seen it so far.
Oh, there you go. I don't know how many grenades this Tanamo has at this game. Another takedown by Tanamo with a grenade, and that is Ross who will be taking down Vanity, trying to survive, but will be backstepping. There goes WLV Imbalance once again on 11th place of this match. Now on the other side, we have Kalasag, who's next right now. Lost one member already, but BPH Velocity is losing more from this side. Funky in their double vector in hand is just doing some damage at this point, and they are going in for the trade-offs of the kill. Now we have to go in for the pickup in here as Funky. Oh, Funky was able to go in for the kill, but BPH Velocity will only be left with one member. I think it's Phaeton, the only one remaining, who's going in on the dance against Hawkeye, other member of Kalasag. Who's next? Go to backstab coming from Funky in there, bringing BPH Velocity and 10, and Trot Legends was just taken down by Tyrants in there at number 9.
Oh, so many things already happening, and we're not even in our fourth circle. It is going to be the third, and it is going to be closing in, though. It's going to be Tyrants versus PXG, but PXG seems to be like they kind of don't want to engage just because they are going to be not in the favor of wherever they're spotted. They're going to be up against Almighty as well, so it's basically PXG versus Tyrants versus Almighty. Is not something you actually want to have, and for the side of PXG, they should have not engaged. And right now, Thanamo finally gets a shot, but does get eliminated by Seiya. This is something that you really want to have, knowing there's going to be two squads there. They shouldn't have left, but here we go. Finally gets eliminated. Desolators is going to be going out early. Jebboy gets a kill as well.
And there you go. We have the placement right now being seen, and Almighty right there is out and off open, being pinched in there by Tyrants and Safdot. That is not a good position for the side of Almighty, right? Baymil is in the middle of everything, and there goes another takedown, elimination of the team. Kalasag, who's next, not looking good at this team, but we have Tyrants right now who is going in for the from the sides of this map, and I think this will be a tactic that they will be using. Oh, what? Almighty has been taken down. It is Saf in there who goes in for the kill and the push, and there goes another team down. Saf is going for the high ground, and we are left with 5 teams in here.
Yeah, like what you said a while ago, Almighty just didn't have really good positioning just because they were so open. Plus, there were 2 squads right above and below them. So, sadly, they just weren't able to actually push through and really position themselves well enough. But you can see here, this last circle is going to be an absolute pain in the butt just because there's nowhere that you can actually hide. And so, probably the most thing you can actually do here is probably just pay for picks. But here we go, McRory getting that quadra kill. Stuff here, Morgana as well, doing a lot of shots for their name. And Bloody Head seems to be like they're pretty solid, although Tyrant's right now taking a lot. Wong and Lottie does go down. It's going to be Fear and Aries going to be left, but here we go. Bloody Heads finally gets eliminated. It's going to be so hard for them to actually pull through. Tyrants, one by one, they're going to be eliminated, and just like that, there's going to be 3 squads left here.
Oh my god, Sap is still surviving after that battle, after that pandemonium that we've seen. We have in here 2 members from Tyrant, but the wall has been taken down here. Lodi is in trouble trying to go for the pickup, but will be taken down. We have a Tyrant eliminated on this game. The top 2 teams of the match already battling it out. Sap McRory in here, or Sap Deathwish to get against AV Ligers, who will go in for the win. Now, I'd like to see those comments in there because we have in here a full squad from both teams. And I know there's a lot of supporters in here, but here comes the gunshots. Here comes the gunfire. The wall of the and Forbid will be down. We have J-Boy right now being shot at, but here comes Red Panda going for 4. The grenade will be thrown from the side of Red Panda, and there goes 1 knockdown once again from the side of Sap. Now, I think there's only 2 members remaining from the side of Sap, Deathwish, and AV Ligers is just going in onto the grenade gameplay. They stuck up a lot on those grenades and is now using it all on the side of Sap. But no, all members from Sap is up once again. We still don't know who's going to take a win, but there goes AV Ligers eliminated, and Sap Deathwish goes in for the booyah!
Second booyah of the day, and Sap Ligers keeps getting shut down. This is an absolute display of dominance for our top 1 team, just telling everyone to sit down. Daymoon, McRory, Let's Go, Forbids, and Toxics yet again for that second booyah of the day, and this team cannot be stopped. This is something you don't want to happen if you are the other teams.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, really want to secure that 400,000 pesos in the bag. This is their second booyah, ladies and gentlemen. To be honest, it's gonna be so hard for all of these teams to catch up. I'm gonna ask you guys, if ever you're in the shoes of AV Ligers or the other teams, how will you catch up here into these beasts of Sap Deathwish, mommy?
Oh, there's just so many things that could actually be in the favor for those other teams. AV Ligers could have had that, but then their position, sadly, wasn't that good. Just because they really had to play catch-up. The glue walls also were into the favor of Sap. They had so many glue walls, and for the side of AV Ligers, they just ran out. And that's the only thing you can have there since the final circle was just so small and also very open. You didn't have a lot of that defense. You didn't have a lot of walls to actually protect you. So not only were they trying to catch up into that final circle as it was closing in, the glue walls just wasn't there to protect them.
Glue walls and of course utilities. Of course, let's talk about utilities. The team fight between PXG and Woos is actually insane. Sanamo being the MVP of that matchup, really being aggressive, just literally pushing it hard to the side of Wales back then. PXG Radicals rather just got 1 buoy at the league stages. Do you think that PXG Radicals can still pull up something for them to be at the top 3 again? Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, PXG Radicals, the way I look at it, it was mentioned earlier that instead of just going in for the push and against Tanamo, they put up the glue wall and they were taken down by the grenade. I think PXG Radicals is working on the nerves of the enemies, and that is their gameplay, unorthodox. They just go in for the mind play despite of how many members is going in for the push. They go in for the mind play and go in for the kills.
Well, apparently I'm actually watching the game as well. I mean, for Sap Deathwish, their gameplay is just wait and pull the trigger whenever you're gonna see some enemies and stuff. But they're just playing passive and not being that kind of a player who is really popping off. They're actually literally waiting on one side, they're rotating, then man. It's just massacre for all these teams for sure. But on the last circle, just AV Ligers and Saf Deathwish again. In the league stages, they're top 1 and top 2. I'm gonna ask you guys, do you have an idea on how to shut down these two teams? Let's start with Beef.
There's so many aspects as to how you can shut down a team, but first of all, you need to be in the circle early, just because the positioning is going to be key. We keep repeating that, and not only that, your utilities, we've seen Thanamo from PXG Radicals absolutely crush it with a grenade, so you need to be able to actually save all of that as well. So like what we saw a while ago, Saf Deathwish really utilized all of those glue walls. At one point, a lot of them had like 3 to 5 already into that last circle, and just AV Ligers couldn't keep up.
Thanamo got like unlimited grenades and stuff. I mean, dude, he got like grenades inside his pockets or anything. I have no idea, man. But how about you, Manetsu?
Yeah, I mean, it's position as well as I won't say strategy once again.
Exit tragedy.
I just said it. But anyways, it's more of their exit and entrance if they work on it. So hopefully they work on that better, and hopefully they go best on the next matches.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your game 1 and game number 2 of the Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals. Up next is going to be Kalahari. Once again, my name is Phil, your host, and together with me is your casters. We have Beef Mommy and Neptune. See you later.
Andy just waited in there to go in for the push. And there you go. Andy is just raining fire.
There you go. We have Desolator in there taking down Kalasak, who's next. We're now left to 2 teams remaining. And Zap right now going against BB Desolator. We have shots after shots. Damon right now, who's really on fire for the shots. And there you go.
These teams really going down, but just like that, you can see here the push coming in from Kiss Mumu. One-tapping a lot of the team members right now, having a lot of these kills, having 0 yet. Not quite getting 1, but does down. Finally gets that opening pack for himself. AV Ligers gets eliminated, like just what we said. Almighty versus Kiss Mumu, and it's going to be looking like Kiss Mumu is going to be a lot of this, but Void Face with the triple kill. One tap.
Run as Namo goes in for those shots.
Woo! Kit Kat just split into 2, sadly.
And there will be rushing in as well. And despite of the zone being closing in a bit, 20 seconds, they are in here to finish it off and clear this out. PXG Radicals will be eliminated on this match.
We are We are back in the Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals. Map 1 and Map 2 is actually over, and just Saf Deathwish being the titan of those maps actually wiped them off, getting 2 booyahs. And AV Ligers, we're actually want to assume that AV Ligers will be at the second place because Map 1 and number 2, of course, they're sitting at that second place. Well, actually, here in map number 3, which is Kalahari, this is actually really new for them, and let's see if Saf Deathwish can win this again. I mean, if ever gonna ask you guys, what can you say about those games? But before that, we're gonna talk about the round standing first. Okay, for the last map, it's actually Saf Deathwish getting that booyah, getting 12 placement points and 11 points for kill points with a total of 23. Second is PSG Radicals with the 6 placement points, 10 kill points, and a total of 16 points. AV Ligers getting a third place with 16 total points. Sirens with 11, Bloodyhead with 10, Kalasag Who's Next with 8, Almighty with 6, VB Resonators with 3, VPage Velocity 2, Chalk Legends 2, and WLV Imbalance and Govilem Whales fell short, getting no points at all. And we really hope that they can get back on their feet and can still win these games. But heading on to our overall standings, just the Saf Deathwish again and again winning 2 booyahs in a row. They have this momentum. We could say that they're really this strong because back then in the league stages, but still, they're still sitting at the top place so far. But here in the overall standings, again, I am correct because Saf Deathwish sitting at the first place with 50 points, securing that 400,000 pesos that we want as well. AV Laggers with 30 points. Sitting at the second place, Bloodyhead, ranked number 3 with 19 points. PSG Radicals in 18 points. Tyrants with 17. And VPH Velocity with 14. Almighty with 14 too. Choth Legends with 11. Kalasag Who's Next with 8. Wheels with 5. VB Desolators with 4. And WLV Imbalance with 3 points. This is like the 3 kills that happened in the game 1. So we are actually hoping that WLV Imbalance can pull something off. But here in this game right now, I'm actually really excited here in Kalahari. A lot of verticality, a lot of high grounds. So let's see who's gonna win this. But I'm gonna ask you guys, what do you think is the secret of Saf Deathwish? Why are they winning over and over again? Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them. They're not really performing from the league stages. I think they're holding back. But the way they finish off with Kalahari from day number 6, I think they know how to get those kills. They know how to get as much kills as well as the booyah if they really want to. And they're showing it right now for the first 2 matches. So it will be difficult for anyone to go against Saf right now.
Yeah, that's true. How about you, Beef?
Well, if it's going to be anyone else can actually go in for the defense and the offense against Saf Deathwish, it's going to be AV Ligers just because it's going to be Kalahari. This is their playground. They've already had 4 wins in that league stages that we had. They have an average of 8.25 kills. So if AV Ligers really wants that revenge, it's definitely going to be here in Kalahari.
Yeah, we've said that in map number 1. We really thought that Almighty will get that, but apparently Saf Deathwish got it because of their might. But apparently here in this map right now, just Kalahari. Let's see if AV Ligers can pull something off. So, on to our casters, game number 3 of the grand finals of the Free Fire Philippines Open. Beef and Neptune, it's all on you guys.
And here we go, Kalahari. We already know this map. A lot of these teams might actually struggle in this particular matchup, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Will Saf finally have a third win here, a third booyah, or will AV Ligers finally pull through in a map they're finally really comfortable at? We're going to be seeing it right here, folks, and it's going to be the battle into that top 2 spot. And Bloody Heads really just trailing into that third, not really quite getting their footing just yet, but this probably could be the map that they can actually pull through.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, speaking of bloody heads, the luck that they have so far in the first two matches is not working. But the moment that they get that momentum in, especially from this third round moving forward, I think there's a chance for them to go in and take the top at this point. But going back to AV Ligers, going against Saf Deathwish, hopefully we have the RNG gods in favor of AV Ligers once again. If they take that those top platforms, the high grounds, and with the snipers that they have, they will be able to take a win in here and probably take back one booyah from the side of Saf Deathwish. But if that doesn't happen, it might be another win for Saf Deathwish unless unless they were taken down early at this point, Beef.
Yeah, absolutely. But we're probably going to be seeing them in Refinery yet again. But here we go. The gunfight are going to be ensuing. Tyrants. It's going to be Saf versus Tyrants. But then Fear's going to be going down this early on already. The first blood is going to be at the side right now. But the kill leader is going to be right there. Tyrants going to be in trouble right now. Saf is going to be a team that's going to be on fire just because they know how to engage. The aggression on this particular team is going to be absolutely crazy. Pong takes some shot as well as Ares. But that's not going to be very good for them because we can see here Wills as well is going to be joining in the mix.
Ooh. And there we go. We have three teams already in here. And this is what I'm talking about. This might be the chance wherein Zaf will be. No, it is Tyrants who will be eliminated there with the help of Wills in there. And there you go. One member of Saf has been taken down already. Now, Wills right now already bringing the fire against Saf. This might be the end of the reign for Saf Deathwish if this continues. But speaking of rain, we have grenades in there raining against WLV Imbalance right now. And they were in the same position previously. They're going against VB Desolators. And hopefully, we'll see a comeback from the side of VB Desolators. And they won't be going in here with only one man left behind as Abnoy goes in there with Damon, and this is what I'm talking about, Beef. Saf is slowly going down.
Yep, Saf is basically gonna have such a hard time, and it's just gonna be like that story for VB Desolators. It just seems to be like they're gonna be going down a little bit too early. Really early engagements right now in Kalahari, and I'm pretty surprised that I actually done so. And this is probably the best thing that's happened to AV Ligers just because they are the #1 threat, and they're probably just coasting through right now. It's basically VB Desolators and also WLV Imbalance. We've seen them already in that map in Bermuda, but then also having VB Desolators on the short end of the stick. So right now, we're just going to be chilling out here. They're not going to be actually going in for the push just yet, really making sure that they're going to be covering all of the angles and they have all of the advantage to their name.
Yes, indeed. I mean, covers is what they have in here, and they are utilizing them to their side. But Desolators right now, they're not backing off. I think they want to take down WLV Imbalance because this is revenge from their side. They have been taken down, or 3 members has been taken down early from that battle from Bermuda, and WLV Imbalance also not running away. So I think we have WLV Imbalance trying to stack up on those points, and probably BB Desolators is the key for them to do so. But the question is, who will go in first? Who will step across that line and go in for that early engagement as BB Desolators is just waiting it out as WLV Imbalance is stacked up in here inside and regrouping, trying to get a good tactic in there. Almost, Beef, almost. A good tactic in there against BB Desolator.
Yeah, it's going to be WLV Imbalance having that high ground, and VB Desolators might be in a little bit of a pickle just because they are going to be in that lower ground, not having a lot of that cover. But it just seems like WLV Imbalance is playing a little bit passively, which I'm very surprised to actually see. Both of these teams already know what's going on. They know that they're there, and it's really up to WLV Imbalance to have that first opportunity to actually fire. Roz does have a really good sight against Hive, and he needs to go in for the kill. They need to go in for the aggressor right now.
Yeah, indeed. And if Roz, I know Roz in here has sights of one member. If Roz happened to have a grenade, that man has already been taken down from side of BB Desolator. But here we go. Speaking of taken down, we have in here Vanity going in for the push. And I think a backstab will be happening in there. But Wiz right now is going in hot in here with 3 members still regrouped. And BB Desolators will be backing off. One will be taken down from this side. And I think they have visitor in here from the side of Trot Legends. I presume they are in here in the area, but Ninja right now is being shot at by Azia and will be taken down. There goes one man down from side of VV Desolators. Hive is just hiding out in in near that waters, and will they be able to survive at this point? Hive has been sighted already by Azia, and here comes a push, and there goes Hive with that shot against Azia, but Desolator will be eliminated once again.
See, I feel like WLV and Balance could have more kills, but then Trot Legends was just coasting through, and that's the moment where Imbalance just took a little bit too long to actually go in for the engagements against Desolators. They could have had more kills, but then no, one kill just had to go to Trot Legends. Well, actually, 2 kills had to go to Trot Legends, so that's going to be very difficult. This is where they should learn, okay, you do have the upper hand, so just go for it. You can see that they're kind of hesitating to actually go in for the aggression, knowing what's on the line, but having a little bit too much of a hesitance isn't going to actually pull through for your team, and we can see it right now. Instead of 4 kills, they only have gotten 2.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, I think it's more of that kill from Trot Legends that really got them off, because they don't know where Trot Legends are, and they are seeing on the kill feed that they're taking down the enemy that they're targeting. So that is a one possible reason why in they're not really that aggressive, because they might be taken down from afar. But here we go. Speaking of taken down from afar, we have Insane right now being shot at from afar in here, and Phaeton was just going in for that peak, but no one has been sighted just yet. This is VPH Velocity right now, just moving up and down in this building, and we'll have to find out who are they going against, and will they be able to take them down.
Not going to be sure if they're going to be actually to go in for the takedown, just because of how far away the team's going to be. So right now, VPH Velocity is going to be chilling right now, just applying enough pressure for them to actually go in there for that aggression, but it's not going to be actually able to go in there. I'm not quite sure if that was the best thing to do, just because they basically just gave away their positioning right now to the enemy that's going to be far away from them. So not only that, a lot of the other teams around them might also know that there's going to be another team where they are right now in Bayfront.
Yeah, I mean, this is the common problem for the teams in here. If you give out your position, there's a chance wherein you will be pinched in there, and well, not really just pinch, but you will be rushed in there, especially for those aggressive teams who are in there using those vehicles and then just rushing in, and the pinch would be a huge headache for these teams. So I think it's more of the passiveness that they need to take advantage of. And as we see, speaking of passive, we have Almighty a little too far from the middle of the map. Surprisingly, usually they go in the middle of this map, but right now they're just hanging back, Beef.
Yeah, they're just going to be hanging back, and I feel like they might get gate-kept. And you can see here, as per usual, AV Ligers is going to be at Refinery, but you can see here the catapult is going to be going on. You can see the trajectory right now of the Almighty members. That's why they were hanging back. That is the reason why, and this is the map knowledge that they really had, which was going to be very good for them. And you can see here, Refinery, it's the playground right now of AV Ligers. They love to stay here. They're really nice upper hand, that upper ground that they really have. And the circle seems to be like it's always in their favor as well.
I mean, there's no chance, or there's little chance that it will be in their favor, because they're dead smack in the middle of Kalahari. Now, the only chance that they might be moving away if they go in 4th or 5th circle, wherein a lot of damage has been done already by AV Liger. So I think this is where AV Ligers is really exceeding at this point. That position that no one really is contesting, plus the RNG on that circle, that is how they are getting those kills and those wins.
Yeah, they already know that it's very likely that the final circle is going to be around Refinery, and that's why they actually go there. And also, that is why they keep winning in this particular map. They know this map is like in the back of their head, but here we go. Wheels versus AMT. That's going to be very difficult right now. Embalor, no, why did you go out? That's not going to be such a good thing. They might actually pay the price. They could have had a lot of cover in that house, but they, well, chose to actually go in for the aggression. But it just seems like that's actually going to their favor. Almighty going down, and just going to be Wheels at the side of them. It's going to be very, very nice for them to actually go in there. The takedown finally goes in. Embalor does go down as well, but then it's very, very difficult right now because Almighty's probably only one person. No, 2 people left for their team.
Almighty, I'm just surprised why Almighty will be backing off. Probably they don't have enough height, or they just know this is Gobilam Wims going against them and they're not prepared. They're just running away in there, and that's when most of their teammates has been taken down one at a time. And Balor is in here already with 3 kills, the same with Abnoy right here. So 8 kills to their name, and Wills right now really wants those placement plus the kills, and Almighty will be taken down, and ooh, it is VPH Velocity in there taking them down. So I think they have an idea on who's near them.
Yeah, they do have an idea, and they already are positioned very well. PXG versus WLV Imbalance, but they do have the lower ground, so PXG needs to be smart about this. They need the glue walls to be down. They do have 6 right now for the side of Insanity, but then WLV Imbalance, we already know that they do drop the ball sometimes, even though they have the upper hand, and showing that a while ago, the fact that they didn't really go in for the aggression a while ago against BB Desolators could be a little bit tricky, just because PXG Radicals is going to be that aggressive team, especially with Dynamo with the grenades.
And there you go, the grenade. I think grenades are being stacked up, and we have 3 right now from the side of Dynamo, and he will be using that up against WLV Imbalance. And here you go, slowly they are moving in. But on the other side, we have AV Ligers Jeboy already on the side of another team in here, and one has been taken down. Oh, we have Seiya in there taking down Maute. It is Bloody Hands right here in trouble in the sides of AV Ligers. And if you look on the upper left on the minimap, the AV Ligers is still within the area of the circle, so they might be going in for the win on this one.
I mean, if you are going to be other teams that go up against the AV Ligers, you already know they're going to be up in that refinery. So I think it's just a matter of really pushing in there smartly, knowing that the team is going to be there. The #1 team here in this particular map is going to be there. But here we go. Dynamo gets rid of WLV Imbalance yet again. And this is what we were talking about a while ago. Just because you saw an aggressive push a while ago from WLV Imbalance, it doesn't really matter, because they need to be consistent about being that aggressive. And we actually showed a while ago, we knew that they are actually struggling in terms of that aggression. And right now, WLV Imbalance finally gets eliminated, but then we can see here Kalasag, who's next, really applying that pressure towards the side of PXG Radicals.
Yeah, I mean, there's little chance the PXG Radicals will be going in here without losing a member. But there you go, we have Saf Deathwish already eliminated from this game, and Trot in here also has their sights on PXG Radicals. This might be a problem, and there Barba goes down in there. A few more members, and PXG Radicals will lose their chance, but Bloody Head will be eliminated on this fight. And I think with the help of AV Ligers from that platform, we are now down to 6, as we have Trot Legends going in for the push against PXG Radicals. But no, they will not be going in for the kill. It is BBH Velocity, or Kalasag, who's next in there, who goes in for the takedown.
Oh, this is going to be very, very nice. It's basically going to be the battle of that high ground, and right now, Velocity and Trot Legends have to go in there for the push. You can already see here, AV Ligers is just chilling right there very nicely. Kalasag, who's next, needs to go and push just because the circle isn't going to be in their favor. And right now, they're just chilling. AV Ligers just chilling, but then we can see here, Will's going to be on fire, but they are going to be in trouble just because they do have that lower ground. Alaforte getting a lot of those shots right now. Trot as well, going to be at the very back end, and I wish we could actually see what's happening between Wills and AV Ligers, but we are going to be seeing that later on. You can see here Trot Legends just hanging around here, trying to see if they can actually get a lot of these frags right now. Here we go, Mike's getting a lot of these shots. MJ finally making their presence known, but then that's going to be very hard right now because he needs to go for the pickup.
Yes, indeed. I mean, AMJ was already getting ready for that kill, but one member from their team has been taken down, and they are in trouble right now. They are stuck between these walls and the circle. But Will was already being taken down at that fight. We have Maisan right now going in against BBH Fadesan, and BBH will be targeted by 2 teams. It is Trot Legends from the left, or from below, as we have AV Ligers still on above. 4 teams remaining on this fight, and AV Ligers chilling like a villain with those snipers in there just taking those kills.
Chilling like a villain, like rah, rah, rah. You can already see here, they're absolutely crazy with all these kills right now. You already know that AV Ligers is going to have that higher spot, but then Seiya is going to be able to actually go in for that pickup yet again. So it's going to be Velocity versus Kalasag, who's next, versus AV Ligers. There's going to be another team there in the mix, but then they're going to be having that high ground fight, and it's going to be very difficult right now for Trot Legends to actually go in there. We can see here AV Ligers going in there for the aggression, letting everyone know that they're not going to be here to play. And you can see there finally the takedown Shares finally gets one killed yet again. Jaboy as well, having that triple kill. Oh, really amazing spot here by AB Ligers.
Yes, indeed. I mean, someone needs to take that spot from AB Ligers. Kalasak, who's next, was taken down next. We are now left with 3. And we have another member of Trot Legends, Maisan, being targeted by VPH Velocity. But we have Jetboy already have them on their sides. Now, the question is, will Trot Legends be able to survive this? And will VPH Velocity go down? And there you go, Chers in there going for the kill. And Janelle right now for the push against Chers, who will go down first on this battle. I think Chers needs to back up in here, and Junel will be backing up a little bit. They're now on even playing field as Chers goes in for the flank, and we'll be seeing Junel right here as Phaeton goes down in there. Retus goes against Jeboy, and we have the rest of VPH Velocity right now just healing up and regrouping as they go in, take down Red Panda. Chers right now is going solo right here, and I think this might be the loss for the side of AV Ligers if they don't push through. But there you go, VPH Velocity has been taken down. Trot is down, and once again, AV Ligers for the win. This is the Booyah on Kalahari.
Shares with the clutch. It was basically a 3v1 situation, but then Shares was just so smart enough to push into that circle where everyone was too preoccupied to actually go in there. That was so amazing. Shogun, Red Panda, Pi Panda, Shares, Jeboy, and Seiya with an absolute display of perfection here in Kalahari. We already knew that AV Ligers was going to be able to actually win this, but the way they actually won this build was so freaking hilarious.
That is a big clutch moment for Shares, man. I mean, AV Ligers is proving that this is their man. What do you think? What are their chances that they can actually shut down South Deathwish and get that top 1 beef?
Well, the fact that they actually won this Kalahari map, that is going to be a boost in confidence. And Saf was actually eliminated so earlier on. So you already know Kalahari is not going to be their map. And that in mind, AB Ligers already know that. You can already tell that they actually did well in Purgatory as well. So having that in mind, it's just basically Saf versus AB Ligers at this point.
We've seen the rise of Saf, and it's fast, and fell down really hard at the start of the game, which is actually, this is the chance for the others to steal that top place for sure. I'm really sure that AV Ligers smiled when they saw 3 from Saf Deathwish being eliminated. What are your thoughts on that, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, they are the biggest threat on this fight against AV Ligers. Now, though this is Kalahari, and I think AV Ligers are confident, still, Saf Deathwish has already taken 2 booyahs. So, yeah, they did smile, and they took the booyah away at this game. Now, the question is, if it's not Kalahari, will AV Ligers be able to do the same against Saf Deathwish? That is what I have in my mind right now.
Yeah. I mean, on our first half, on our first 3 maps, who do you think is the best rotation so far in Beef?
Well, the rotation definitely came in for the side of AV Ligers just because they didn't even have to move at all. They were just there. They always are in Refinery, and who actually has that upper hand in Refinery and having that platform will most likely win this one. And you can already tell it's going to be that final circle in their favor as well. So the RNG gods are in the favor of AV Ligers.
Yeah. I mean, in the top 6 of our leaderboards, way on the league stage, back then the league stages, 5 there is actually is our invited teams. What do you think is their edge here in the finals for the invited teams and the qualified teams? Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, the invited teams pretty much have seen a lot of action already. I mean, they've already shown what they have, and they have been invited because of the action, the engagement that they've shown, the strategy that they used on their gameplays. So yeah, I mean, and that is how or why they have the advantage at this game.
Ladies and gentlemen, to all the people who just tuned in, this is, of course, the grand finals of the Free Fire Philippines Open. Well, of course, we're gonna get to see all these players winning that sweet prizes, and of course, you have a chance to win amazing prizes as well if you reach that 3,000 milestone. We're gonna give away Wasteland Frontier parachute, just like what Beef said. Die in style. And I wanna, if you want to die in style, I wanna fly in style, man. So again, to all the people who just tuned in and are watching right now, please don't forget to share this stream, like and comment as well. The teams you are rooting for, show them your love, show them your support for them to have that boost of morale, for them to get that top spot and get that booyah as well. All right, next map is Bermuda. Again, the big question: can Saf Deathwish do it again? Let's start with Beef.
Well, if it's consistency that we are, kind of concerned about, yes, half Death Wish can definitely perform. But after that, poor performance in Kalahari, you already know that AV Ligers is going to be pulling through, knowing that they can actually go against Saf Death Wish. And you can already tell that the other teams are actually putting so much pressure into Saf Death Wish. So they're basically ganging up on this particular team, but then they're forgetting there's going to be another top team that they have to worry about.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm actually really surprised and actually really excited on the battle of top 1 and top 2. It's like AV Ligers and Saf Deathwish all this time, man. Back in the league stages, they've been fighting their hearts out for them to get the top spot. Actually, the point of Saf Deathwish is 327 and AV Ligers with 300, and we're gonna get to see if those kind of points will happen here in Bermuda. But I'm gonna ask you, Neptune, do you think that Saf Deathwish can do it again?
Yeah, I mean, if they're not targeted first early in the match, yes, there is a possibility that they can do it again. But we'll have to find out if they are consistent enough on their drop, especially when we go in here on the Bermuda map.
The OG map indeed, and I'll give a big tip onto this team's end for sure. You know this as well. If you want to get that top spot, defeat the top 1 team, which is Saf Deathwish or AV Ligers. To be honest, AV Ligers might get that top spot, but we're going to see that later on. But apparently, going into our 4th map, ladies and gentlemen, second half, Bermuda on our casters, Neptune and Beef. It's time. Let's go.
Let's go indeed, and here we go. The teams are already flying in onto the Bermuda map, a combination of greens and industrial, as we see the teams already spread out. We have the WLP imbalance already dropping in onto the mill. We have the shipyard right now being taken by Saf Deathwish, and the rest of the teams are in here. Almighty, being short on that peak drop. I think they are backing out a little bit as they saw another team in there jumping right in front of them. Now we have Factor right now. I think we'll be going in, or I think we'll be occupied by 2 teams in here, but no, it is Bloody Heads going into Mars Electric. We have Tyrants right now going in Pochinok, and they have plenty of buildings in here to go for the loot. The question is, do they have enough to go in for the win?
Well, we can see here Tyrants going to be earlier on over here trying to get that loot, but then just like that, PXG is going to be able to actually go down with 1 member. Xiaoyu already. VP Desolators finally pulling through with that, the new kill leader. And this is what they needed just because they had such an awful 3 games. And finally, we can find the footing and the rhythm back into VP Desolators. But how much they can actually pull through and how consistent they can be in terms of fragging, we'll see in a little bit. Observatory is going to be basically, I don't know, I'm not quite sure if that's a really good spot to actually be in, but PXG really going away. Now that's a really good thing to do. Just because, they might be able to aggressively push all the time doesn't mean that they should always aggressively push. Just because you already know that they're down 1 person, they shouldn't engage and really just pick a fight another day. But here we go. Speaking of picking a fight, Almighty is going to be taking some shots already. Imbalanced, already applying that pressure, but we can see here up in the hill is going to be Jay-Z and the rest of the Almighty boys.
Yes, indeed, and Almighty is in there just waiting as we look at match number 3 round standings. We have AV Ligers taking the lead on the points with 23, and we have Goblin Wills in there together with Kalasag, who's next, both on 14. We have VPH Velocity with 12, Trot Legends with 11, PXG Radicals down at 8. We have Saf Deathwish taking down early with 5 points. We have WLP Imbalance and Bloodyhead with 4, Almighty with 1, and VB Desolators as well as Tyrants with 0. And we have have Almighty in here. Well, hopefully they will have a good play in here compared to the previous match because they need to catch up on points. Otherwise, they might not be called Almighty anymore.
Yeah, they're not going to be almighty if they don't actually pull through here. They really had a hard time in Kalahari, but then we already saw a lot of the strong teams actually not pulling through here, and that's why AB Ligers is so impressive in this competition, just because they do well in every map. Yes, Saf, Deathwish, and Almighty might be good for, Bermuda and Purgatory, but in Kalahari, they just stink. But then right now, we already know that AB Ligers loves the stink and knows how to actually diffuse it. And so right now, it's really under pressure for Almighty, because we already know that this particular team is very good. They're actually in that 4th spot, just right below Bloody Head. But then there's still a lot of ways for them to actually go and pull through, because we are at our halfway point. If they can actually pull through 2 in a row, then maybe they can actually find another booyah and maybe even win the competition, because this team really frags out.
Yeah, indeed. And speaking of fragging out, they need to work up on catching up. But because Bloody Heads is already making those kills already against Tyrant, and we have 2 shots or I think 2 knockdowns already from the side of Bloody Heads against Tyrant, indeed. And Almighty right now might be left behind, especially if they are taken down early. So right here, I think they're just getting into mills wherein we spotted earlier. One team is already taken that position, but Ren right here, I think Ren is lagging a little bit, going in for that moonwalk in there and moving up on this hill. Will they find a fight in here, Beef?
Well, it just seems to be like there's not going to be a lot of these teams right beside them right now. So, again, they might be a little bit safe here. They need to go in there to have positioning in those late circles. Right now, Factory just going to be coasting through right now for the side of Velocity. And you can already see here, everyone's just playing passively. There's only going to be just a few members, probably just 3 people down already. Now, this type of play, we haven't seen this in the competition yet, because we usually see like a team already being taken down this earlier on. But this is going to be very good. But you can see here on the side of Trot Legends, there's one person that wasn't able to actually go into the lobby. So that is very, very unfortunate to actually see. WLV Imbalanced, you can see one person is going to be in Shipyard, as well as another team from SAF. So I'm not quite sure why they actually did that. Shipyard is going to be very hard, especially it's going to be a 2 or 3v3 situation here.
Yes, indeed, and one will be left behind in the rest. And they are not just going against a team; they are going against Saf Deathwish in there. So one member is, I think, is already a lost cause at that matter, going solo, and that person is not moving at all. As speaking of moving, we have BPH in here still going in on this motorcycle run. It is Retus right now going in for the scout, and hopefully Retus will not scout too far and too deep into the enemy lines, because you don't want to lose one member, especially if you haven't have any kills just yet and that you lost one member of your team. It will be difficult for them to come back, as Retus is in here, I think has already made a U-turn, is coming back with their teammates.
Yeah, he's just surveying the area, just making sure that no one is going to be here, but he's making a lot of noise, and right beside them is actually going to be VB Desolators, but I'm not quite sure if they're near enough to actually hear that there's going to be a vehicle, so that's still information. But then with that, they weren't able to actually see if there's going to be anyone near them, and right now, oh, yep, VB Desolators heard the motorcycle, and right now they are going in against VB Desolators versus VPH Velocity. Now this is going to be very hard, because we already know that VB Desolators are already in there, having 1 kill already, so it's going to be very hard for VPH to act through, knowing they do have a smaller area to actually defend.
Yes, indeed, and I love what Insane is doing in there, blocking that door with that motorcycle. We've seen that before from the side of, if I'm not mistaken, that was PXG Radicals, but knowing that they have the utilities in there as well as the vehicles to use to cover up the doors plus the walls that they can put in to box in the enemies, I think they have a great chance in here. That question will be, or that will depend on whether they push first against BB Desolators, or will they be pushed in here as BB Desolators are just getting too close. Speaking of getting too close, we have Saf Deathwish in here getting too close against Almighty and going in, riding along on the Danger Zone, and there you go. Danger Zone has just expired, and Almighty has already been spotted and heard of as Forbids in here, tries to get away being shot at from afar.
And they just got out of the nick of time, knowing very well they're not going to be winning that engagement. So that's a really good thing for SAF right now, just because they aren't going to actually get a lot of those points. And maybe even if they tried to engage, probably not going to be in their favor. And right now, they're still actually in the radar for Almighty, and it looks like they're actually going to be picking the fight, and it's going to be Almighty versus Saf right now. It's going to be very difficult for them to actually pull through, and they are going to be able to actually know that each other is going to be there. So for the side of Almighty, they do have the upper hand just because they have a bigger surface area to actually work with, but for Saf, they do have that hill, so just in case they need to back away, they have a safe place to actually go in there. Ren goes down, Forbids, with that opening shot, but doesn't quite get the kill just because the pickup is going to pull through, and they need to go in there for the aggression, knowing very well that Saf is going to be in that other side of the building.
Yes, indeed. What a good shot in Forbids and the follow-up in there. Unfortunately, not much follow-up from the rest of the teams. If they happen to have probably thrown in a few utilities, that will be a secure elimination from the side of Almighty, or elimination from some members. But SAF right now, I think they're not going in for the too aggressive approach, as they have already failed that on the previous match. And hopefully this works for them, because a lot of fans out there watching right now are really cheering on for SAF Deathwish, and not quite sure if they will be able to take the win, or will the Booyah be taken by a different team. But if we look into the map right now, Almighty is in the middle of 3 teams. So 4 teams already on this area of the peak, and this is the middle of the circle. So the rest of the teams will be rushing in if no one will be taken out this early on this game.
Oh, well, this is a very interesting spot here. That circle is going to be at the favor right now for VP Desolators, VPH Velocity, Saf Deathwish, and Almighty. AV Likers needs to go and push through a little bit later on, but then they're going to be a little bit safe just because there's not going to be anyone near them. So it's in these 4 squads right now. Who's going to be able to actually go and push? But the UAV does go down. Not quite sure for which team, but hopefully we get to see that. And Kalasak, who's next, is going to be here just surveying the area really quickly. Not really having the best positioning, but then they are just going to be looking for where they can actually go and camp and really just give a lot of those informations on their end. They need to go and pull through, and hopefully they can finally find a place where we can actually go and push. So a very quiet circle over here right now for circle number 2, just because they're just going in for the push, and not a lot of these teams are actually engaging so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is the quiet, or the silence before the storm, because we are now heading into the 3rd circle, and we still have 12 teams in here. I'm just imagining how the 4th, 5th circle will look like with all these teams still alive. And this is the problem that comes if you become too passive. If you don't take down a team early on, that they will be your problem when the circle closes in. And speaking of closing in, we are now going into the 3rd circle, and Bloody Heads Mark taking shots against I think this BPH Velocity right now on his sights, and another team as well. Now hopefully that is a good idea for Mark right here, because he has no cover at this point.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if that's actually the smartest thing to do, just because VPH Velocity and VP Desolators are inside a building. So they're basically just giving away their positioning, and the only thing that's really protecting them is this hill, this downslope that they're having. It's going to be very difficult if they aren't going to be having the circle in their favor, because the circle is going to be closing in very, very soon. It's going to be that 3rd and final circle. It's going to be very difficult, and just like that, the danger zone just barely scratches the surface right now for Bloody Heads, and that is luck, my friend. That is absolute luck. If the danger zone was actually just right above them, they would have no choice but to actually go and push through.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes the problem of giving away your position, because you gave out your position and then you stay in there by the danger zone, and then you will be running out in the open. The rest of the teams that you are trying to shoot out will be looking at you and might be shooting you down. But here we go, a drop will be in their favor, and I think this might turn the tides around Bloody Heads. But the rest of the teams right now are in here. Oh, I think they are in the middle of the map right here, but we have Peak in there from behind, wherein BB Desolators has already taken them. So they took over the position of Almighty, and Almighty right now is stuck in there on that small space, but still within the circle, and might be shooting at a few teams in there on the strip. And speaking of strip, I think there's an engagement happening at that area.
Neptune, we still don't have a kill yet. It's just the same people that actually died from that first circle. Only 3 people down. What the heck is happening? Now, this is going to be very crazy, actually. Mark, yet again, with those shots right now, doing a lot of pressure, but then not quite sure they can actually back it up just because their positioning isn't going to be very smart because AV Ligers is going to be right behind them. But Circle is going to be going up against the favor yet again of VPH Velocity and BB Desolators as well. So giving away your position just like that is going to be very hard, just because you can see here AV Liger is going to be right beside him, and right now Mark just needs to actually get a kill. Even though he's actually applying pressure to a lot of these teams, he's not going to be able to get any kills for his name.
Yes, indeed. I mean, they need to get a kill, at least one for each team, or for each team member, so that at least they have contribution on this game. But there you go, we have Maut there right now, who is riding ahead, and I think we'll be going back against AV Ligers, getting the position in the scout. But there you go, we'll be shot down in there, and Maut there right now, just distracting the enemy. I think this is a tactic by Bloody Heads right now, just getting the attention of AV Ligers. The rest of the teams will go in for the backstab. Here comes Morgana right now, double vector in hand, and going in for the kill. Morgana taking down Seiya in there, but Seiya has already taken out one member from this side, and there you go, Bloody Heads in there going against the Kings. The Ligers will not go down that easily.
Jeb Boy, the Lord and Savior of his team, the only one that can actually save him. But then sadly, Cher does go down. Not enough time to actually go into the pickup for 3 members. But I feel like that was actually pretty worth it. That engagement for them, even though they lost 1, they were able to actually get 3 kills. So that was very, very impressive. And that was very sad that we actually saw that Blood kind of had a chance to actually pull through. But sadly, the pinch didn't. I feel like with them, Maute could have had the backstab as well. I feel like 2 players should have had and gone in there for the pinch, but sadly didn't really push through. But then here we go, Kalasak, who's next. Funky going to be in trouble right now, going up against Saf, Desmond, but then not really quite getting it. But then AMT gets that triple kill. Wills gets eliminated right in the back of our heads. But the Kalasak, who's next, yet again eliminated. Sadly we weren't able to actually see that takedown. But then there's a lot of engagements already happening over here. AV Ligers is actually going to be in trouble because BPH Velocity is really amazing gunfight. They have the advantage of that high ground in this building right now.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this is what I'm talking about. This is what happened if you play too passive. A lot of things will be happening at all. And here we go. I think it's only Let's Go in here, surviving from the side of Saf. This might be the end of Saf Deathwish in here as they go against Almighty. And there go. Saf Deathwish will be going down. Almighty proving that they are still the Almighty team. But positive right now, still a full squad trying to go and take shots against Almighty as well as AV Ligers in there. Now the question is, will they be able to survive this fight? Trot Legends is also in there on the far side. So VBH is smack dead in there in the middle of everyone.
Smack them in the middle of everyone. It's not going to be looking good right now for the side of AV Ligers. And not only that, the circle is going to be closing up on them. VPH Velocity basically had that free kill. Trot Legends really going in for that catch-up. And VPH Velocity with that amazing strategic pressure, just going in there very earlier on into this building, claiming it. And basically everyone who actually was able to get a building into their favor was able to actually pull through. Here we go, Phaeton taking a lot of these shots right now. Desolators are going to be in trouble. The circle is going to be hurting a lot of these members right now. It's going to be Phaeton going down as well. Only 3 members right now for Velocity to actually pull through, but then Insane pulls through with an amazing and insane gameplay, getting rid of 3 already. Now it's going to be PH yet again. It's going to be Insane and Retu's going to be able to actually go up against Pong and Aries right now. 7 teams still left in the mix.
Yes, indeed, 7 teams in the small circles, and there goes VB Desolators from this game. We have Tyrants in here. I think they're going in for the passive approach right now because there's only 2 members from them, and they don't want to go down that easily. But the rest of the teams are in there already fighting in, and Shira going in for the kill against WLV Imbalance. It's a 1v2 right now as we look at the bottom of the screen, but I think Shira will be taken down in there, and Ross war with the shotgun gameplay. Here we go. We have a VPH Velocity right now going in for the push against PXG Radicals, and PXG Radicals are not really aggressive at this point. They're just hanging back. They're just waiting as the result of the gameplay earlier that has been happening. Eras in there going in for the kill against Trot Legends, and we have in there Retus being taken down to Namo in there going for another kill, and Almighty as well. Now the question is, who will be left out of the 4 teams in here?
There's going to be a lot of things actually going to be pulling through right now. WLV Imbalance, surprisingly, doing so well. Just takes out Almighty. Just because only one member of Almighty actually go in there. But then Ares with the quadra kill. Here we go. This is what we were actually waiting for. But PXG, Tanamo, and Insanity can definitely pull through, especially knowing how well Tanamo can actually use his grenades and utilities as well. You can see here, speaking of, you can go over here. But no, WLV Imbalance does get taken out. Tyrants is going to be a little bit too much for them to handle. Just looks like the PXG Tanamo is going to be giving so many grenade rains over here right now. And finally, with a push, Tanamo is going to be doing a lot of damage, but he needs to have the backup right now or else he's going to be in trouble. He needs to go in there. Another person right now. Tyrants eliminated. Tanamo with 5 grenades in a row. Absolutely winning this particular Bermuda map and finally getting that first booyah for their team.
OMG, we have a PXG Radicals in there, and I think Tanamo, I was looking at Tanamo in there, I was just looking at the grenades that he has on him, and if I'm not mistaken, he has 7 on his bag right there, and he just let it go against Double DS Tyrants in there. OMG, what a play in there from PXG Radicals, and absolutely unorthodox gameplay, and booyah.
Indeed, man. I mean, everyone really played slow. No one is being aggressive, just actually waiting to catch someone off guard. Do you think that'll happen in the last 2 games, Neptune?
I mean, well, hopefully not, because it proves a lot of problem for some of the teams. And I think we're talking about AV Ligers and Saf Death Wish, who has been eliminated early. So if they want to take down or probably stop those 2 teams to move up on the leaderboards, yes, they can let it slip like that. Just wait for the passive approach. But if they want to go in for the win, I don't think that should be happening.
Yeah, but in the last 2 games, Game 5 and Game 6, they need to be aggressive because most of our teams out there are actually hungry for points, Beef.
They're not just hungry, they are starving. And you can see your PXG Radicals have been doing well for every single game that they have, right? And right now, they just had an absolute buffet right in front of them, especially with Tanamo basically shoving grenades down everyone's throats.
Yeah, they're actually super hungry. They're famished, their hunger for points is actually right there. At the 14-minute mark, it's actually a big Hail Mary move to all of our teams right now. A lot of teams are trying to survive a big team fight. Lots of top teams being eliminated, which is like I said a while ago. If you want to catch up, all you need to do is take down the teams at the top for them to prevent from gaining more points, Neptune.
Yes, indeed, and there you go. Like Almighty did in there, they were able to take down Saf Deathwish at that point, and AV Ligers also fell down like halfway through within the teams. So that is how you stop them from moving up. The question is, are you gathering enough points after this? Up to this point, we're now in here getting closer to the end, and hopefully they have more points to be able to reach their goal.
In the top 6 of our leaderboards way back in the league stages, we have a 5 teams out there in the top 5, and only PXG Radicals is only the qualified team that is in there in the top 6. What do you think is the edge of PXG Radicals here in the finals? Can they do the impossible? Not impossible, but they can do a big clutch for them to be the top 1, Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, PXG Radicals are, using their gameplays in there wherein they will not be expected that easily. Especially that last hit in there by Tanamo. There's 2 members in there. They're just going in for the grenade gameplay. Though, yeah, we were expecting it from Tanamo in there. But I think, I think this is a more of how they are good at switching up their gameplays.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, we've talked about this a while ago. Tanamo with unlimited supply of grenades. What do you think is the importance of utilities here in game? But before you answer that question, we're just gonna have a very, very short break, guys. Once again, this is a Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals. Very times for today. I am your host. My name is Phil, and beside me is we have Beef and Neptune. See you later.
Flush, you get in my way and you get crushed. I picked up the pace and they ate. That's bang bang in the sky in the finals, the live blitz. Let's go!
It's really cool to do a collaboration like this.
I love the skateboards.
I love the event. I love cars, and that's really what got me interested in the game.
Booyah!
Booyah! Booyah!
And we are back here in the grand finals of the Free Fire Philippines Open. We are once again. I mean, I'm your host. My name is Phil. Alongside with me is Beef, Mommy, and Neptune. And we've seen already the game 1, 2, 4, and that is explosive. I swear, man. By explosive, I am talking to you, Tanamo. Tanamo got unlimited supply of grenades, man. Like, I have no idea where he is getting that. I mean, those grenades, man. I mean, what can you say about Tanamo, Beef?
My god, I'm pretty sure Tanamo has a jutsu where he can actually just summon grenades at his will. Basically just be like, grenades! He threw, I think, 5 or 6 grenades at once, and that is the usage of utility that you want to see for all of these teams. And PXG Radicals, even though they are at that 5th spot, it doesn't really matter. Having that first booyah is going to be very important, and it's going to be important for all of these teams as well to get the booyahs, because we only have 2 rounds left for them to actually pull through and maybe even get a booyah for their name.
And for the round standing that happened last round, it's PSG Radicals getting that booyah with 16 points, Almighty with 14, Tyrants with 14 points as well, VPH Velocity getting that 13 points, Trout Legends with 9, WLV Imbalance slowly catching up with 9 points as well, Saf Deathwish, what is happening to Saf Deathwish with 6 points, AV Laggers 6 points, VB Desolators 5, Kalasag Who's Next 4, Bloodyhead 1, and Govilam Rios not getting any points at all. And here at this 4 maps that we played today, we're gonna get to see the overall standings, ladies and gentlemen. Who is just Saf Deathwish again getting the top place with 61 and AV Ligers with 59 points. Oh my god, that is really, really close. only 2 points, man. PXG Radicals with 42, VPH Velocity with 39, Tyrants with 31, Trot Legends with 31, Almighty 29 points, Kalasagu's next 26, Bloodyhead 24, Wheels 19, WLV Imbalance 16, and VB Desolators with 9 points. Yo, man. I mean, look at this is the top three already. Saf Deathwish,
Yeah.
AV Ligers, PXG Radicals. The top one and top two are in all invited teams, while PXG Radicals came from the qualifiers. What is up with PXG Radicals, man? Beef.
What is up with them? My gosh, I think it's just a determination that even though they didn't win all of those 3 rounds, they did enough damage and placed high enough to actually pull through with all of those points. I'm honestly really surprised because I actually thought that Almighty would actually get a little bit higher up the map, but then turns out it's just not too much for them. They're not placing high enough, they're not getting a lot of those frags, and yes, they do get a lot of those early gunfights like what they usually do, but when it comes to that final circles, that's when they actually kind of falter. So for the side of PXG Radicals, they just need to keep doing what they're doing, and Tanamo seems to be the player for their team.
And they're actually their goal is shut down the top one and top two teams for sure, which is Saf Deathwish and AV Ligers, for them to climb up slowly onto the top right now. Well, just looking at the overall standings, just they're really trying to prove that they're the best here in this league. But apparently, these are the map recap on what happened on the last 4 maps. Round 1 and round 2, just Saf Deathwish getting that booyah. Meanwhile, round number 3, AV Ligers getting that, and round number 4, PXG yes, PXG. But here in Purgatory, the question is, will Saf Deathwish get this again, like what they did in round number 2? We're gonna see that later on. So on to our casters, Beef and Neptune. It's time for game 4. Let's go.
Game number 4, and here we go back into Purgatory, wherein you don't know whether you're in heaven or hell. As the flight infused right now, the teams are already flying in. Now we know already the drop points of some of the members who are in here. Now we'll have to find out if they have what it takes to get back on this game. Now, we've seen earlier how Saf Deathwish and AV Ligers has been taken down, and PXG Radicals trying to move up. And I think, Beef, with PXG Radicals, it's more of what works that they're using, and that might bring them to the win.
Yeah, the win is going to be very essential for now in match number 5, and this is very essential for every single one of these teams that's going to be in that top 3, because honestly, they're the only ones that actually might have a chance to actually go and pull through. But I really want to see a miracle happen. Maybe people who can actually go pull through here in that bottom 5, maybe they can actually pull through here, but I'm not quite sure if they can actually have a lot of these matches, have a lot of these points and engagements to really go in there. Trot Legends, they've been kind of having a difficult time in this competition, just because we have that. It's going to be very difficult for them to actually go and pull through. Trot Legends, though, with that opening first frag, is going to be very important for them to actually go in and probably get a lot of these points and disrupt whoever is going to be in that top spot. I think basically everyone who's going to be in that bottom 7 until 12, they just need to disrupt whoever is going to be in that top spot. Really just apply that pressure and really just stop them from getting the top points. It's really up to these teams to be able to pull through and really stop the push from the top 3 teams.
Yes, indeed. I mean, we're now on the 5th match, and I think there's not much for testing anymore. Whatever they have in here that has been working, if they want to pull down the top teams, they should be doing that. And what is not working, I mean, they need to adjust that quickly, because so far we have the teams like Trot Legends in here who has been using the sides in there, who is now moving into the middle of the circle, and I think they are going aggressive right now. They are trying to move themselves up into the ranks and get those kills and those win as well. Now we have Almighty. We've talked about Almighty, wherein they are not showing how almighty they are right here, and this is the last 2 matches that they need to prove that, because otherwise Almighty might not be in there and they might be taken down. As we look into Ogobilam Wills, who is already on top of Almighty right here, but I think Batman sights on them. Now we have in there Batman together with the rest of the teams. And Balor, I think, is the one who might be taking shots the moment that they see one enemy from Almighty.
Oh, now this is the top two teams that I actually want to see who's going to be able to actually pull through. Wills is going to have that high ground, which is going to be an absolute advantage against Almighty. Almighty, we already know that they really engage earlier on the game, and they usually win early gunfights, but in this situation, I'm not quite sure. And it just seems like Wills is actually going to back away, which is very surprising. I feel like they could have won that engagement real easy, but they just go away. And I'm pretty sure it's the confidence that they kind of lost during the past 3 games just because they didn't really do well and really having that downside of just losing all of those games. But I feel like that could have been the perfect time to actually pull through and get those kills.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I'm seeing the feel that we have right now on this game. I'm getting the feel that this might be a repeat of the previous match because no one is going in for the push just yet, despite of how close they are in there. They're just going shy right now. They don't want to introduce themselves to the enemies right here. As we look in there, Bloody Heads is just trotting on the other sides near Ski Lounge, and they are going against AB Ligers. And I think I spoke too soon. Gunshots are happening right here, but hopefully we'll see an engagement and a few kills as well.
Hopefully we see a lot of engagements already because so far there's only going to be one person down at the side of WLV imbalanced. So again, a very, very, very short, tiring game. Just because we already know the past few games are going to be very fast paced and you already know they've been slow pushing, especially in Bermuda. It's going to be the same thing here in Purgatory, but you know, I feel like a lot of these teams are just going to be very careful just because they know how much is on the line. But you can already see here the people who are going to be in that inner circle already is going to be Almighty and Saf as well.
Yeah, I mean, Saf right now, I'm not quite sure if they're confident with their status right here, but they are 2 points ahead of AV Ligers. So if they let this go this easily, at this point, I think they will be left behind. And here we go. We have another team in here. Kalasag, who's next, going against VPH Velocity, wherein VPH Velocity is very good at the waiting game, and Kalasag, who's next, is not waiting right now. They just want to take them down, and one down already from the side of VPH Velocity. Jonelle has been taken down once as well, and I think there's one more or a few more members from VPH Velocity in here. Jonelle already down. This might not look good for Velocity.
Velocity is going to be in trouble right now, which is going to be very surprising because it's going to be Kalasag who's next that's going to be applying that pressure. And not only that, gets the kill, Funky! Gets the takedown, but then doesn't quite get the kill just yet because Desolators are going to be in trouble yet again. Wheels is going to have one person down. No, it's going to be 2. Alaforte not quite getting a lot of the kills that they actually wanted. It's going to be Desolators yet again. It's going to be very surprising because Caleb is going to be the only person left for him to actually go in for the pickup. But then just like that, Wheels gets to be eliminated. And finally, Desolators doing such a great job here in Bermuda and Purgatory so far.
That's what I'm talking about for VB Desolators. They were not doing good on the early engagement. Usually one member will be left out, but they went against this team, and VB Desolators survived with all 4 members, and this is a formula for you to take that win. And on the other side, speaking of win, we have a WN in there, missing the I, already going in for another kill. And Kalasag, who's next, I think, thinking of who's taking down next to eliminate VPH Velocity, because I believe there's only one more member for VPH the Velocity in there after what happened on those fights.
That wasn't a good position to actually go through. It's going to be very difficult for Velocity to actually pull through, knowing very well that a lot of teams are actually still fully stacked. And right now, Desolators seems to be like they're doing such a great job. They are going to be chilling right here. And even though that Almighty is going to be at the other end of the street, they're not going to be able to actually go and pull through. They're looking very, very solid right now. Early game, first circle. And they're just going to be going around. They're going to be chilling. They're going to be just staying over here, knowing very well that they are inside the circle. Honestly, if you are going to be deep within this circle, there's really no need to actually go in to move. You just need everyone to just go to you. And right now, they're actually just waiting for Almighty, who's going to be there. But they're taking shots. My guy probably going to be taking shots against Almighty right now, but then does get taken down. Jay-Z is going to have that kill. But then just like that, VB Desolators going down one by one, and the Almighty gang, oh, they should have just pushed in. They should have just stayed there. And just like that, the Patience gameplay going through here for the side of Almighty.
Yeah, Almighty in there. I think they're already in the roof, knowing their position, especially on this map. They usually go into the roof with a better vantage point against the enemies. And Batman right now, knowing that there's only two members in there, they were able to take down two. Hive is just running away, trying to get away from Almighty. And here we go. Batman has already spotted one member of BB Desolator, but Ninja has not been spotted just yet. Now here comes the Batman going in. B will be flanked, but Ren in there. What a good backstab in there against Hive and Ninja, the only one remaining at this point, being shot at by Jay-Z as well as Ren. Now here comes the push. BB Desolator with only one man remaining. I don't think that will last for long, as Almighty right here going in and eliminating BB Desolator.
BB Desolator should have just chilled inside one of those buildings, but yet they just went around a little bit too much, and they paid the price because Almighty was just around in the other corner. And for BB Desolators, they had such an awesome start, but then sadly, that just didn't pull through here. Almighty is not a team that you'd want to actually go up against, especially in the early circle. So that's a very strong side for the side of Almighty. I'm pretty sure they might actually pull through. The circle is going to be closing in. There's still a lot of squads right now. You know what, here, Neptune? Something that I'm actually really seeing for the side of PXG Radicals, they're always at the outskirts. They're always in the zone, like outside of the zone, actually, going in there really late. So this is going to be interesting because they've been doing this for, I think, for the past 3 or 4 maps. And last map, it actually pulled through. They were able to actually go in there. But if it's going to be luck just because they won that, I'm not quite sure. I know they can frag, but the positioning on their end isn't going to be that powerful. But then maybe it doesn't really matter for them. Maybe this type of play of just really going in there late into the circle is going to be a little bit better for them. And so far, it's been working out, especially into that last game. But if it's going to be working out here, it's going to be a little bit difficult just because it's a little bit tricky. There's a lot of things you have to consider. And right now you can see here Almighty is going to be right in the middle. Saf as well, Bloody Heads and WLV Imbalance are going to be going in there one by one.
Yeah, you talk about PXG Radicals, and one thing that I've seen from them so far, I did mention this earlier, wherein they make use of what works. So on the previous match, that tactic that they're doing, just moving on the sides, that worked for them, and they will keep doing this until it doesn't. And that's one thing about PXG Radicals. They try different things, and the moment that they use it and it works, we've seen them. So far, not much vehicle gameplay has been seen from PXG Radicals because it's not working anymore. A lot of teams are doing that, and this time they're just going in on the side, back to the basics, and also the grenade gameplay coming from Tanamo in there. That has been working so far, not just from the previous match, but as well as the others, like the third match that we've seen earlier. So yeah, that is how dynamic PXG Radicals are, and yeah, that is how teams should be. And that is one reason why they are on top 3 despite of them not being the invited team.
Yeah, they're so impressive here, and the fact that they're actually in that 3rd spot really is no joke. You are going up against titans of a team, up against AV Ligers and Saf Deathwish, and if they get shut down early, that is the best chance they can actually get. And we saw that in Bermuda. We can see here Saf Deathwish really went in there, and right below them is going to be AV Ligers. I think it's going to be in that 8th and 7th spot. So that's the best thing that you can do. So if that does happen here in this particular map here in Purgatory, it's a very clear shot. They might actually go in for another booyah. But Bloody Heads and Almighty are definitely going to be applying that pressure to them as well. These two teams have been really, really as well. So right now for the side of Saf and AV Ligers, they're doing okay. They're inside the circle, but it's just it's a matter of what kind of engagements they're going to be going in for.
Yes, indeed. I mean, I think the reason why Almighty is being too passive, especially on this map, because looking at the kills that they have, this is what's well, this is just me analyzing what's going on. This is what's been working. I mean, they were able to maintain their position because of the tactics that they're doing in Purgatory, and this is working as well for them. But not too much as they are now in the finals with only 2 matches remaining, this one and the next one. I don't think think that will still work if they want to move up onto the ranks. And with the top scores that we've seen earlier, there's a huge gap in there from the top 3 compared to the rest of the team. And we have Almighty right now. I think this is it. This is where we will see aggressiveness from the side of Almighty, as the WTS Tyrants is already on their sights. The question is, will they be able to take them down, or will it be the reverse of that situation?
WLV imbalance here in the gunshots made them actually go more downwards into the south, really just not wanting to engage, which is very smart. So they are going to be occupying the building that's going to be at the very south right now of Almighty. It's going to be Tyrants versus Almighty, but then you can see here they actually went out of the compound. That is going to be very surprising. Batman taking a lot of these shots right now. Tyrants are going to actually have a lot of those shots taken, and it's going to be very difficult for them. As you can see here, it's going to be inching closer and closer. Almighty is actually going to be able to infiltrate the warehouse that Tyrants was at. So this aggression yet again for Almighty might prove to be really good for them, but just one extra wrong move is going to be dire for them, because right behind them is going to be WLV imbalance to pick up the scraps.
Yes, indeed. I mean, being pinched right now, they know. I'm not quite sure if WLV imbalance know that they are going against Almighty in here, but no, there are 2 teams already fighting, and they only have visibility from one, so the other team might be on the other side. So this is a good pinch for WLV imbalance. The question is, who will go down in here, and if they will be able to eliminate either one, Tyrants or Almighty. Will they be ending up with a full squad, or with less, wherein WLV imbalance might be able to vulture their way in?
I'm impressed that Tyrants was actually able to recover from that attack from Almighty. So, but before that, we can see here PXG Radicals is going to be going up against AB Ligers. PXG is going to be doing the firing, really just giving away their position, but it's not going to be pulling through just because they're just shooting at walls. They're not going to be able to actually have clear shots, but right behind them is going to be Saf. And you already know Saf is going to be very good for them. And right now, Kalasago who's next, taking a lot of these shots as well. Hawkeye doing a lot of damage right out to the side of Trot, but then to no avail.
Yeah, Trot Legends is just trotting in there, and the rest of the teams. Oh, we have in here the engagement. Finally, Batman in there going in for the grenade hit, and Jay-Z right now trying to finish them off. That Lodi was able to take them down, and Lodi was taking down himself as well. Now here comes Shira trying to clean it up, and the rest of the teams are in here going in for those engagement. Batman is back up and will be healed, but Tyrants will be taken down. But no, Batman will be eliminated in here, and the pickup is going on. Jay-Z will be back and will be left with only 3 members for Almighty.
Trade was worth it, and even though they only had just 3 kills or 4 kills for them, Batman did the sacrifice, but it's going to be very impressive. That was actually really good. You are going to be going into the final circle with just 3 members, which is still very doable. We've seen Almighty actually pull through, but with Batman gone, he's usually the person that can actually clutch up the match. So we'll see how Almighty is going to be actually doing without that one essential person for their name. 9 teams left here, and the circle is going to be going down. 5 to 7 circles left, and there's still a lot of people actually going through. It's going to be WLV imbalance against Trot Legends, but it just seems like Kalasak who's next is going to be right there in the mix as well. PXG Radicals just being chill right now, but because it's going to be Bloody Heads versus AB Ligers, and it seems to be like PXG is looking really good just because everyone else is actually really aggressive, and they don't know that PXG is going to be there just because they're so busy trying to take down each other.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, this new PXG Radicals, this is why I like those qualified teams that we've seen so far, because they are going differently. But there you go. I think it's McRory with that rocket grenade launcher in there, taking 2 men down from side of PXG Radicals, and that is how SAF works. They just take advantage of you being distracted, and they go in for the kill. Now, PXG Radicals with 2 members remaining, Tanamo and Insanity. Now, the question is, will Tanamo will have those grenades ready? I think he has 4 in there, and the rest of the teams are going in for the hit. We have Funky in there for the triple kill, and we have Red right now trying to shoot them down. Funky is already down from this fight, but the rest of the teams are going in for the pickup, but they will be taken down as well. We have 7 teams still fighting, and we are now on the 6th circle, and Kalasak, who's next, will be taken down, and Saf Deathwish will be going down as well.
Saf Deathwish just couldn't go in there and eliminate PXG Radicals. They proved to be a little bit too much. Yes, they actually had the advantage just because they had the building. And here we go, Tanamo yet again with the grenade gameplay. How many grenades does he have? He has just one more. He needs to save that. He needs to actually use it for when it matters. And right now, Insanity and Tanamo is going to be that squad, that duo that we are going to be looking at. They only have 2 kills, so it's going to be important that they actually pull back just a little bit because they are going up against AV Ligers, Bloody Heads, and also Almighty. Let's see what is going to happen. 4 squads left in the mix, and it's going to be the top 4 squads that we were looking over. And right now, Almighty gets eliminated, and it's going to be PXG Radicals against AV Ligers, against Bloody Heads. It's going to be PXG Radicals yet again with that duo that's actually going to be able to go through, but then no! AV Ligers yet again does do that job. Bloody Heads, Morgana is going to be that VIP, the MVP. AV Ligers couldn't even do it. We already know that Morgana's always that person that actually clutches up, and that was such an easy takedown. I actually couldn't really see who was going to win that one.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw one team eliminated, and the final seconds we weren't able to see it because the battle is really going back and forth. As we see Bloody Heads in here, we have ZJ, Mark, Morgana, Maote, Cruz, and Wasak takes the booyah on this game. This is a new turn of events, Bill.
Yeah, I mean, that is really a huge clutch for Bloody Heads. Apparently, we're actually not rooting, but we're actually seeing that we really thought that AV Ligers, PHG Radicals will get that win, but apparently it's just Bloody Heads just waited patiently out there in the corner and still getting that win. And I actually really want to point out, I'm actually watching this. Saf Deathwish literally fell into the trap of PXG Radicals. We really thought that Saf Deathwish will wipe PXG Radicals, but no. They are the ones who fell into the trap of a PXG. I mean, just taking down 4 men, but for PXG Radicals, they just lost 2. But still getting these points that they need. I mean, how about you, Neptune? What are your thoughts on this match?
I mean, there's a lot of things happening, but consistency from the side of PXG Radicals as well as AV Ligers. Well, unfortunately for Saf Deathwish, they've been consistent for the past 2 games of being taken down before reaching the top 3 in there. So hopefully they'll be able to get back. And judging from the games that we've seen so far, I'm really interested as how the new leaderboard will look, because the difference from 2 teams of AV Ligers and Saf is just too small, as well as for PXG Radicals. And the past few games in here that we've seen, or this match number 5, might change that.
Yeah, I mean, before round 5 started, it's actually 2 points. I mean, Saf Deathwish is ahead of 2 points onto AV Ligers and 11 points for PXG Radicals. But here in this game, there's a huge chance that AV Ligers will get as well. It actually depends on the kills that they got. But for PSG Radicals, there's a chance as well that they still got that 3rd points. I mean, what can you say about that, Beef Mommy, on the leaderboards right now? They're actually really close.
I think in this end, I feel like AV Ligers might have actually overthrown Saf into that top 1 spot. Just because we saw AV Ligers really pull through in that top 2 and top 3 in that last game. Not only that, maybe even having a lot of kills. And I know Bloody Heads actually won that, got the booyah, but not having a lot of kills because Morgana a while ago had 1, and that was the MVP. So I'm pretty sure that's not going to be a lot of kills on their end. So Saf Deathwish needs to pull through in this map, and it's going to be Kalahari, and it's going to be the map right now for AV Ligers. So Saf needs to step up.
Yeah, this is going to be really bad. Not bad, but hard, apparently, for the teams of Saf Deathwish. Well, AV Ligers won, I think, in a Harry map on the last game 3. But here in game number 6, let's see if they can do it again. This is actually, I mean, really close for all these teams so far. And one thing is for sure, their goal is to be included in the MCP Major. And I really can't wait on that event as well. Who will be the best here in here in the Southeast Asia. Well, this is the last game of our grand finals. Last game, man. What are your tips in order for the other teams to catch up, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, still the same. Take out the top teams for you to move up a little bit. I mean, a little bit of movement might change your status on the leaderboard, and we're talking about a few thousands in there once you moved up.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be slow. It's gonna be slow and hard. But if you took down all the top teams, it's gonna be really worth it if ever. So going here in our last match of our tournament, the Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals, guys. I mean, we've been with you um for like more than 2 months, maybe. I guess is it 2 months or more than 2 months? Yeah. I mean, I'm actually really happy that I'm part of this event. Of course, I mean, getting to know all the players, all the teams who are fighting their hearts out for being at the top, and this is the time as well for a team to go mad and aggressive, apply pressure, or probably jump in the same place and just wish that you will win that team fight. The question is, will Saf Deathwish still get that top one, or AV Ligers will steal that top place and take home that 400,000 pesos? We're gonna get to know that later on because Kalahari map is already starting here in the last map. Kalahari on Surcasters, Neptune and Beef. It's time.
It's time indeed. This is the last match for this grand finals, and the teams are already flying in. And here we go. The rest of the teams right now are already standing in on similar position. So far, we are looking at similar drops in there from the teams, and we'll have to find out. Will this be a slow game once again, Beef, or will this be a little bit faster since this will be the last match of today?
Oh no, definitely. It's going to be faster. You can already see here WLB imbalance getting that first button. Embelor goes down. You can already see here Wills as well with the response. It's going to be a lot of things going on right now. It's going to be 3 teams actually. Embelor is going to be going down so early. Wills yet again. Azia is going to be taking a lot of these shots as well. Vanity does go down for the side of WLB imbalance. Wiz needs to go in for the pickup. Just not enough to actually go and pull through. They need to go in there. Wiz finally gets a shot. And then just like that, Wills eliminated. Really just eliminating all their dreams and hopes to actually go and win. But take a look at our match number 5 round standings. Almighty with 18 points, with AV Ligers with the 13. I'm pretty sure that is this right now? I'm pretty sure Bloody Heads was actually the one that was in number 1 spot. But you know what? Let's hope to see that that's going to change. And PHG Radicals with that 10, Saf Deathwish with 9, Kalasak who's next with 8, WLV Imbalance with that 8, Trot Legends with 5, BB Desolators with 4, VPH Velocity with 2, Tyrants at 1, Govelam Wills with 0. This is going to be very hard right now. Wills is something of a team that I actually was kind of rooting for, and to see them get down so early on, I feel like they just had such a hard time. They really shined in their particular group, but going up against the Goliaths of each grouping, they just struggled here in balance. And even though they're down 1 person, it's going to be interesting how all of these points really add up, and knowing very well that they probably won't have a shot at winning, maybe they'll pull through. Maybe they're actually going to be going on in a rampage. Having probably 20 plus kills is still very possible. The only thing they need to do is to stop AV Ligers in Refinery. And here we go, finally, gunfights ensuing here, Neptune.
Yeah, and this is Bloody Heads. And we were talking about WLV Imbalance. They move up. Well, most of the time they're at the bottom of the list, but they are slowly moving up. And this is a good Cinderella story at this point. And Cinderella would, because I'm not referring because they're a all-girls team, but it's because they're starting off as slow and then slowly moving up in here. And this time, WLV Imbalance, that engagement that we just saw, a good trade-off though. It's a 1 to 4 trade-off. They are going in on a rampage, and I think they won't be holding back, regardless of what position they end up. But they enjoy the game as well as to show them what they have.
Yeah, everyone here is actually just enjoying. That's the one thing that you really can't pay, right? Yes, you are going to win money here, but at the same time, what matters is you have fun. The moment you stop having fun, that's when you actually are going to be miserable, when you are going to be a pro player here. So that's probably one of the things, is to have that balance of, probably having the training, but at the same time still having fun while you're at it. So a lot of these teams really are just happy to be here in this competition. To actually qualify for our finals is really going to be interesting. But then you take a look right now here, Neptune. Look who's at Refinery. Surprise, surprise. AV Ligers. I
Oh.
don't know why. I don't know why any of these teams really just let AV Ligers take a hold of Refinery. If I were the other teams, I would just drop into Refinery and have probably 3 or 2 teams go up against that team, just because if you see AV Ligers here in Refinery, there's a very big chance if the final circle is going to be there, they are going to win. But you know what? I'm going to manifest it. It's not going to be there. It's not going to be there. It's probably going to be up above, probably in Foundation or Bayfront. I'm really hoping to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we like to see how AB Ligers perform if the circle is not on their favor. And yeah, same question. Why doesn't anyone contest Refinery at this point? Speaking of contention, I think this is Almighty trying to contest WLV of the position. And there you go, Azia right now trying to heal up as they have Almighty already above them. And the question is, will Azia be able to survive this? This is a solo mission for Azia right now. The grenade gameplay will be going in there, working against Azia, and I just told you the grenade gameplay is really, really effective, especially if you have one trap on that tower.
Beautiful nade by Batman here. And let's see if they're going to be actually able to pull through, if they are going to be going up against PXG Radicals. Tanamo versus Batman with a grenade. We'll see what's going to happen. Will Batman finally claim the title of that grenade god? Or will it still be our reigning champion, Tanamo? Or will he eat the nade and maybe pull through? PXG Radical still has a shot though at actually winning this. There's no denying that, just because they are very, very talented. But you do have AV Ligers really just chilling right now in Refinery, and as well as Saf probably going to be going up against AV Ligers at some point. And I feel like they are going to be going up against a very passive approach. So AV Ligers also with a passive approach. So let's see what's going to happen here. I feel like they already know a lot of these things, just because it's going to be very costly if they move there a little bit too aggressively.
Yeah, I think what I'm seeing right now is those on the top are not really getting that aggressive, and we've seen already a few teams already, or a couple of teams has been taken out already in there, and WLV imbalance is just like from the previous overall standing that we've seen. They were at 11th, so they just went all in. They go in for the fight and try to survive, and hopefully they had fun as well. Well, we have Fear in there going against a BB Desolator Ninja and another bottom performer in here. I'm not saying that they're not performing, but based on the leaderboard, they're the bottom of the previous overall leaderboard. So BB Desolator, hopefully they turn it around and get back those scores. Otherwise, hopefully they're enjoying the game.
Yeah, that's what's really matters here, is that we are enjoying here. They're enjoying. Everyone in the comment section, everyone that's watching right now in YouTube, Facebook is enjoying as well, because us casters, we are absolutely having fun. We're having a blast here. And not only that, the production as well is doing such a good job at giving us the action. The observer is really doing such a great job. And honestly, if they didn't really do a good job at giving us the action, we'd be really terrible shoutcasters. So right now, Jay-Z having 0 kills yet. It's usually Batman that gets the frag, and you already know it because he already has 2 kills to his name. So very impressive stuff here. They were able to actually go and get rid another squad here. WLV Imbalance sees an early exit. Wiz as well. Everyone's just chilling. You can already tell that they're taking this very, very seriously, just because they know they have a shot that they could actually get through into that top. Maybe they won't get that top 1, but you already know the prize pool is going to be crazy. They probably want to go into that top 4 and top 5 spot, just because it's 50,000 pesos going up against that number 1 spot, which is going to be 400,000. So I'm pretty sure Almighty already knows they're not going to win, but they just want to get more money in here.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going in there, just go in with a bang. I mean, you won't be able to get the top spot. At least get the closest, wherein you will get a lot in return. And speaking of return, I think there's a return fire in there. Wherein we have BB Desolators going against AV Ligers, and this is what I'm talking about. Contest that refinery. Take down AV Ligers from their position because that is where you lose this fight. We have Trot Legends who's already taking them down, and we have one takedown already from the side of Trot Legends. Now, Jeb Boy was able to take down Hive as well, and this might not look good for Desolators right now, but hopefully they will survive, and at least they are trying to take down the Kings of Kalahari.
Yep, but then the Kings of Kalahari need to go and move out just because the circle is what? Surprise, surprise, not in their favor. Yes, we manifested it. We knew that it wasn't going to happen just because that won't be interesting, right? To have another circle go here in the refinery, we need to give AV Ligers a harder time. And right now it's going to be a cat and mouse situation. Red Panda is going to be the cat and Saber is going to be the mouse. And right now, finally, Desolators gets eliminated. Jeboy finishes the job and finally getting 2 kills. And that is not that impressive to have 2 kills, but if you are going to be going in there playing a little bit passively, then yes, finally that is going to be a little bit good for you, but you need to go in for the push. Refinery is not going to be the place you want to be, and you need to go push into that inner circle, which other teams are already at though.
Yeah, well, when you mentioned that the circle is not on the side of Refinery, I really couldn't help to give that evil laugh in there. Not that not that I hate AV Ligers in here in Kalahari just camping in there, not really camping, but staying in that same position and taking the win. We want to see more of this team outside of their comfort zone. And speaking of comfort zone, we have AV Ligers in here already going in for the push against Tyrants, and Fear has been taken out already. Here comes a heal from the side of J-Boy, and the push is on Chairs right now, going in one at a time, taking them down. But we have Lottie taking down Chairs in there in return. Now hopefully Chairs will be picked up. And there goes Seiya in there, going for the kill, and not looking good for the side of WTS Tyrants as AV Ligers out of their usual position are still in a good play.
Thing is though, they have a backup plan. They already knew that Foundation is going to be the place, and especially going into this high ground still is so impressive that even though that they gave up their position that they favored so much, they knew where to go just in case the circle wasn't going to be there. And that's what happened. They got rid of Tyrant, and right now they still have that upper hand of having the high ground.
I mean, the high ground is really an advantage, especially on this map. And there you go. We have a takedown in there. Oh, Batman has been taken down as well. And it's now left JC and Ren. And let's go right now, going in for the comeback in there. Now, Saf against Almighty. The question is, oh, we also have BPH Velocity at this point. Or I think I'm looking at a different team earlier. But we have Jay-Z right now stuck between the wall and the glue wall. Or the fence and the glue wall. But here comes the Bloody Heads going in for the battle against AV Ligers. I think AV Ligers are in the show right now, as the Bloody Heads will not be backing off. There you go, Red Panda going against Morgana in there, and Bloody Heads is now left with 3 members and going in for multiple kills right now. AV Ligers might be going down at this point as Jeboy just runs away but goes in. Come back against Maote Seiya in there, also going in for the kill. Now AV Ligers still looking good at this point. The question is, will they be able to survive? We have BPH in there. Oh, it's AV Ligers out of the game and out of their position, out of this match.
That is not going to be good if you're AV Ligers, just because you shouldn't be comfortable at your position in that list. Saf doing such a great job. They are applying pressure to everyone that goes their way. And the fact that the final circle wasn't going to be in Refinery really was a testament as to AV Ligers just performs well if the circle is in their favor. And they have a hard time adapting to that. And even though they did have that high ground a while ago and they had that plan B, it just didn't work out again because the circle wasn't in their favor. And right now, everyone needs to go and push through. VPH Velocity is going to be the only one here, though, as well as Sap is going to be in that second floor. So it's not going to be easy for both of these teams to actually go in for the push, just because you already know that McRory might go in there and have that rampage.
I don't know who opened up this house for rent, but a lot of teams are around here, and hopefully Saf will be able to go in for that like from the second floor into the ground floor and eliminate everyone, and this gives them the chance. So AV Laggers already out of the game, and no chance for them to pick up on the scores that might have been recovered from the previous match. But SAF right now needs to take the throne if they want to take the win. Otherwise, the rest of the teams, like probably PXG Radicals, or yeah, the rest of the teams who are in here trying to go in for those placement as well, need to take SAF down. As SAF, let's go right now. The walls after walls after walls. We have a McRory in there going for the kill, and there you go. Shotgun gameplay coming from McRory. We have BPH Janelle going against McRory, and Fear as well going against BPH. 3 teams fighting along, and we have a Daemon right now going solo. The question is, will he be able to pick up the teammates in here and go live with the 4 members, or will they be taken down in here easily by BPH Velocity? But we have a Janelle right now in there just roaming around. The rest of the teams of Kalasag, who's next on the upper left of the screen, is going in for the kill against Front Legends, and there you go. Front Legends will be eliminated. We have Fear right now in there going against Ren. I think it's 1v1, but Tyrants will be taken down. Janelle right now will be taken down as well by Saf. Death Wish, we are now getting down close to 5 teams remaining.
VPH Velocity really tried to get rid of Saf, and they just didn't want a lot of these points to go into their name. But then just like that, VPH Velocity gets eliminated, and it's basically Daemon is going to be the VIP because he basically just healed 2 members that were already down, clutching everything up. VPH Velocity couldn't finish the job and couldn't get rid of Daemon, even though he only had less than half HP left. And that is going to absolutely be terrifying for the side of AV Ligers, because you can see here, Saf is just awake. They're basically just trying to go in there, and PXG is going to be in trouble again. Here we go, 4 bits, PXG Radicals gets eliminated. Saf is going to be on a rampage. Bloody Heads, it's honestly up to you and Kalasag, who's next, to be able to actually pull through and get rid of Saf.
Here goes the dream for PXG Radicals. Saf right now staying strong, and when we thought they will be left with only 1 members, the rest of the teams will be picked up, and they only lost 1. Now we have Mike in there going for the kill against Bloody Heads, and Mark will be taken down by Forbins in there for a quick snipe. We have Forbins in there going for the backstab, and Bloody Heads will be eliminated. At this point, we are now down to 3 teams remaining, but Daemon will be taken down, and let's go right now, going in for the push against Kalasag, who's next. The pickup has been done from the side of Kalasag, who's next, and will be done as well from the side of Sap, but Warbids in there a little too quick on those snipes, taking down Funky in there. We are still with 3 teams remaining, and Warbids will be taken down by Might, a little bit too mighty on this fight, but will be surviving as well. 1 member remaining from the side of Saf, and let's go, going and giving them the shotgun and the backstab probably for the side of Almighty. There you go, let's go right now, trying to go for the clutch, but no, Kalasag, who's next, is the next for the booyah.
Kalasag, who's next, stopping right now Saf to finally get that 3rd booyah, maybe even stopping their reign to the top. Now I'm so excited to see what is going to happen here, just because we already know the top 2 points are going to be so close. Red, Hawkeye, Funky, Myth, and Muyi really just proving to see that they can shut down a Goliath like Saf, who needed the points. And Bill, this is not going to look good for the side of Saf and also AV Ligers, who really want that top spot.
I mean, legit. I mean, Saf Deathwish with a huge rampage, securing that top spot is actually really good. Kills after kills after kills, taking Almighty down. But again, the big clutch of Kalasag, who's next? Getting that win, securing that win as well. If you're gonna ask me, I have no idea. I have no idea on who's gonna be in the top 1. Is it gonna be AV Ligers or a Saf Deathwish? It is really close. Well, we actually thought that AV Ligers will survive that team fight against Bloody Heads a while ago, but the clutch of Bloody Heads gave them a hard time to pull it off. But on that moment, for sure, they are just crossing their fingers and hoping that they still get that top 1 beef.
Yeah, they were hoping that Saf wasn't gonna make it far into the last circle, but unfortunately, they got a lot of kills over there. And not only that, they bagged that top 2 spot. So with all of those points combined, that even though they didn't really do well in Purgatory and Bermuda, that could be enough to actually pull through that top 1 spot. But then a lot of things can actually happen, and AB Leggers, I feel like, is going to be having the longest 5 minutes of their life while we're actually waiting for the points to be collected.
Yeah, actually, I mean, the last team fight that we've seen, Saf Deathwish, Almighty, and Kalasagu's thing is actually crazy. I mean, to be honest, if ever you're gonna ask me, I didn't understand a single thing because everyone is just all over the place. Neptune, can you help us? Can you break that down for us a bit?
Yeah, I mean, well, we have in there on the final circle, we have Kalasagus next, who's just waiting in there from the sides. They're just putting up those glue walls and waiting for the result of like the engagement from Saf Deathwish in there. And also, there was one member in there, if I'm not mistaken, that was coming from I really can't remember, but there's one member in alone, and they are not really going in for the gunfight as well. I think they are on the same waiting game, and it's only Saf Deathwish who is trying to go in for the aggression. And I guess the aggression really didn't work that much because 2 of their team members has been taken down, and Lesko is the only one remaining at that point. And there you go, the clutch happened in there, and the win goes into who's next.
I mean, for Kalasagu's next, we all know that maybe there's no way for them to be at the top 1 and top 2, but still getting that enough points for them to get more points and for them to get more cash prize for sure. But apparently, I just wanna do a small recap again on what happened today. Who got that sweet booyahs, and we'll see that later on. But I mean, to the people who just tuned in, thank you very much for watching all our streams, the tournament as well, of all the casters here in the Filipino stream, here in the English stream as well. A big shout out to all of you guys. Thanks for tuning in. And later on, I'll be showing the code for the giveaway, and for sure you've all been waiting that ever since we started. And I'm gonna ask you guys first, how does the turnout of all that is happening here comparing to your expectations here in the tourney? I'm gonna ask you first, Beef.
Let's just say expectations were met. We already know that the invited squads were going to probably be one of the best ones, but expectations were also very surprising because we see PXG Radicals basically coming into that open qualifier, showing everyone that they can be one of the best squads here in Free Fire. And I know this is going to be the first of its kind, and especially this big of a caliber type of tournament. And it's really impressive to see all of these teams that probably never went into pro tournaments really pull through, and I hope every single year we are going to be able to actually have this. So again, it's going to be interesting how we actually get into this, but I already know that a lot of these teams, especially the ones that didn't really make it, will pull through, and hopefully they don't stop. And even though they lost, that really just have that fire to push through at the very end into the other tournaments as well.
All right, we're gonna get to see the round standings for today. It's gonna be Kalasag who's next, getting that first booyah of their lives here in the grand finals, getting 19 points. Together with Saf Deathwish, both got 19 points. Bloodyheads with 12. Almighty with 12 as well. AV Ligers with 7 points. That is a 12-point deficit, ladies and gentlemen. That is actually huge for them. PSG Radicals, however, with 7 points. Tyrants with 6. VPH Velocity with 6. WLV Imbalance with 4. Trot Legends with 4. Garvilam Wills with 1. And VB Desolators with 1 point there in their pocket. I mean, that is actually really huge for the top 2 teams, which is actually Saf Deathwish and AV Ligers. But apparently, PXG Radicals is actually slowly peaking for them to be at the top 2. So later on, we're going to see if they actually got that, or maybe got the small room for them to be at the top 1. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the overall standings. VB Desolators will start at 12th place. VB Desolators with 14 points. Wheels with 20. WLV Imbalance rank 10 with 28 points. Rank 9 Tyrants with 38 points. Trot Legends with the 40 points, rank 8. VPH Velocity sitting at rank 7 with 47 points. Bloodyhead, rank 6, 49. Kalasag, who's next, 53. And rank number 4, Almighty, with 59 points. PXG Radicals, however, with 59 points as well, but they have higher placement points. So and one booyah as well. That's why they got the third place. And the second place, ladies and gentlemen, is actually AV Ligers sitting in that second place with 79 points. And our champion of the Free Fire Philippines Open is actually Saf Deathwitch with 2 booyahs, 43 placement points, 46 kill points, and a total of 89 kill points. That is actually 10-point deficit, ladies and gentlemen. That is really, really close. But meanwhile, here's the map recap of what happened today. Round number 1 and round number 2 is just Soft Deathwitch securing those rounds. Round number 3 is AV Ligers. Round number 4 is PXG Radicals. Round number 5 is Bloodyhead. And for that last map here in Kalahari, it's Kalasag. Who's next? Casters, Beef and Neptune, 10 points deficit. That is really, really close. What are you going to say about that? Let's start with Neptune.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's expected. Saf has already invested, especially as we see in the map recap, 2 booyahs already. If one of which didn't happen, 12 points less from the side of Saf Deathwish, it's really close for the side of AV Ligers. So they invested that much onto the win and into the kills at that point, and that is where they got that win.
Man, how about you, Beef? What are your thoughts on this?
Goodness, it really just came down to Daymoon. It was basically Saf versus VPH Velocity, and from what we thought that VPH Velocity could actually go and wipe Saf, Daymoon pulled through, was able to pick up 2 members to have 3 into that final circle, and they got rid of Velocity. It was basically just at that point where they got a lot of those kills already, and even though they didn't have that booyah in the last point, you already know that their fighting spirit was not tarnished at all, and that is probably one of the most important things that you can have as a team, is to not only be consistent, but to have that mindset of not being able to actually lose in your head.
Yeah.
So with that being said, they just did so well in this competition so far, and congratulations for finally bagging the first ever champion here.
Like, if we're gonna compare the league stages back then, it's actually Saf Deathwish with, getting that rank number 1, AV Laggers rank number 2, Bloodyheads rank number 3, Almighty rank number 4, and rank number 5 is actually PXG Radicals. And if you're gonna look at here, this overall standing for the grand finals is actually, there's this same thing happening. It's just, I don't know, man. For PSG Radicals, I have this strong feeling that in the next couple of tournaments here for Free Fire, there's a huge chance that there'd be one of the invited teams. Is that right, Neptune?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And I think what PXG Radicals has shown on this game will change most of the gameplay that we see from the other teams, because we mentioned earlier how dynamic they are working, how out of the box they're thinking, and that should be how teams are going in for those tactics.
Yeah, how about you, Beef? Do you think that PSG Radicals is the next big thing here in Free Fire?
Most definitely. They're 100,000 pesos richer, and honestly, just like probably 0.5 points. We already saw from the list a while ago, a person, the team that was actually just below them was going to be, I think, Almighty. They have the same points, but they were able to pull through, and 75,000 to 100 pesos, now that is a big difference. Not only that, their journey from open qualifiers going up against these invited teams really goes to show that they are the top team that actually represented that open qualifiers. Now, with that talent being pulled through, it just needs a little bit more polishing and a little bit more tournaments to actually pull through and maybe be even the champion.
Before we end the show, I'm gonna ask you guys, what are your final thoughts? Starting off to the open qualifiers, to the league stages, all the way to the grand finals. What are your expectations? What are your thoughts on this? Let's start with Beef.
Well, a lot of things have been happening, and I'm really excited to see where Free Fire is actually going to pull us through here in the Philippines. You already know this is going to be the biggest tournament that we have here, and we do have that upcoming one in Southeast Asia, and we already know that South Deathwish is going to represent us. So again, there's a lot of things that's going to be happening here, that growth that we have here, and it's our first time basically casting this game, and honestly, it's such a breath of fresh air for us over here, just because this game is just so exciting. It's so different, and I'm so excited to see what is going to happen in the next few months here for Free Fire.
The game is actually fresh. I mean, I really love it. I mean, whenever I see a glue wall, I love it actually. How about you, Neptune? What are your thoughts about everything that happened here in Free Fire?
And one thing that I like to give to the players, not just for those who played today, but as well as those who enter the qualifiers, hope you learn a few things that we've seen in here, because we've seen a few teams who are moving from the bottom, going into the top, and getting close to those top 5 or top 6 of this matches. So this is how you need to approach your gameplays and your tactics. Almost said that forbidden word. But yeah, hopefully strategy, I got it right. But hopefully you put that into your tactics, because if you don't grow, especially in this short of time span within a tournament, then you will not be able to make it to the top, like what we've seen in here from the teams.
And ladies and gentlemen, this has been your Free Fire Philippine Open Grand Finals. I mean, look at this. It's just more than 100 teams really joined this, and now down to 12, but there can only be one, and it's of course South Deathwish bagging that championship and that 400,000 pesos cash prize. To all the people who's watching right now, thank you very much for joining us on the last streams, way back in the open qualifiers, to the league stages, and here in the grand finals. For the last time, we are your today. I'm your host. My name is Phil, and together with me is Beef Mommy and Neptune and Gentleman Gaming, and of course, see you again next time for some action-packed action here in Free Fire. This is the Free Fire Philippines Open Grand Finals, signing off. Take care and good night.
Going for the rush. Andy just waited in there to go in for the push. And there you go. Andy is just raining fire.
There you go. We have Desolator in there taking down Kalasak. Who's next? We're now left to 2 teams remaining, and Zap right now going against BB Desolator. We have shots after shots. Damon right now, who's really on fire for the shots, and there you go.
These teams really going down, but just like that, you can see here the push coming in from Kiss Mumu, one-tapping a lot of the team members right now, having a lot of these kills, having 0 yet. Not quite getting 1, but does down. Finally gets that opening pack for himself. AB Ligers gets eliminated, like just what we said. Almighty versus Kiss Mumu, and it's going to be looking like Kiss Mumu is going to be a lot of this, but Boy's Face with the triple kill. One tap.
That run as Namo goes in for those shots.
Woo! Kit Kat just split into 2, sadly.
And there will be rushing in as well. And despite of the zone being closing in a bit, 20 seconds, they are in here to finish it off and clear this out. BXD Radicals will be eliminated on this match.